Good evening, everybody. Nice to have your company wherever you're tuning in, all around Australia, all around the world, on the platforms of SimShed Broadcasting. 17th and final round of the Nationwide Technology Systems, V8 Super Series from Mt Panorama, Bathurst. It is the NTS Bathurst 250. What started as the Nationwide Tracking Systems Super Series ends as the Nationwide Technology Systems Super Series. The best thing about it is the best motor racing real estate anywhere in the world is playing host to the grand finale. So, why are we here? Well, 17 weeks ago this journey started, this championship started. We got underway, and then we travelled to 7 different countries across 17 weeks with 1 week off in between. And then all roads lead after 16 rounds, 18 races. The Mt Panorama, about the 6.213 kilometres, the mecca of Australian motorsport. What should be an epic conclusion to the NTS Super Series. Good evening, everybody. Zach Caban and Matt Davis with you. Welcome to our exclusive coverage on the platforms of SimShed Broadcasting, live from the virtual Mt Panorama, where it is a cracking scrap for the championship between Holden and Ford, and that's exactly the way you want it when it's a supercar championship. Matt Davis stepping in for Chris Kisby tonight. Unfortunately, the internet not wanting to play ball down there in Tasmania. We say a big thank you to our mate down there, the Spirit of Tasmania, for all his help right throughout the course of the year. We know we'll be watching a replay as soon as the internet is back on. Matt Davis, welcome, mate. The voice of the GAC series, of course, which concludes tomorrow night. 250 kilometres separate us and crowning a champion. Lassif Leonage, of course, the championship leader, with a little slender advantage after qualifying on Sunday night when Sean McNamara proved to be the sting in the tail for Rainer Costello.
Good evening, Zach, JP, everybody watching at home. What an absolutely fabulous shootout it was on Sunday night. Sean McNamara taking pole position over Rainer Costello. That makes Rainer's fight tonight just that little bit harder, still leading, trailing Labs by 13 points. So he's really going to have to pull the rabbit out of the hat tonight and really make a move on with it.
Slightly extended pre-race show for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As we count down to green, we'll be going green at the earlier time of 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So Matt Davis will take you on a hot lap. We'll talk about the championship equations. We'll have a look at the championship points. We'll talk about the track that is Mt Panorama. Let's just reflect on that shootout firstly, Matt Davis, because that set up a tantalising grid for tonight. I mean, just when you think about the achievements of Sean McNamara alone there on Sunday night, it was everything we expected it to be. The shootout is always one of the most anticipated sessions of the year, and it delivered in spades. And it caught a couple of people by surprise as well. The slippery track conditions caught at least 2 drivers out. And then, of course, you had the drama of Cameron Jones as well.
Slippery track it was, Zach. I couldn't believe how slippery it was. We had David Kirby come out of the final corner on his hot lap as well, on his time lap. And unfortunately just lit the tyres up, into the wall he went. And Alex Court, before he even started the lap, came out of the final corner a little bit too hot and lit him up. Luckily enough, though, to save it from going into the wall, but really cost him on his time there. So really unfortunate for those guys. And Cameron Jones, big talking point for tonight, unfortunately crashed out and had to cop a tow to the pits. And obviously rules are rules, Zach. You get a tow into the pits, you must start from pit lane come race day, so or race night for those guys, but race day on the actual iRacing server.
Exactly. Race conditions will be set to 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, because the 3rd of October is the date of the server, and of course that's when daylight saving kicks in here in some parts of the country, the progressive and civilised parts of the country at the very least. The less said about that, the better. I didn't think I'd be talking about that in June. Let's have a look. Let's rip the Band-Aid off it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at the championship points, because this is what it's all about. As Matt Davis straps in and gets ready to take us on a hot lap, this is what it's all about. Lassif Leonage, 2,088. Rainer Costello, 2,075. Alex Court, 2,038. Then the rest. No disrespect to anyone else, but it's between those 3 men. And to be truthful, and to be even more critical, or more harsh, I guess, Alex Court is a long-distance shot, given the finishing average rate of Lassif Leonage and Rainer Costello this year. But he is an outside chance and could prove to be the sting in the tail. Should something go wrong for his teammate, should something go wrong for Rainer Costello. Matt, team tactics could play a part here with the NTS boys. Rainer Costello, who's he going to rely on for some support here?
Rainer Costello is definitely going to be relying on Dean Powell. I got the message earlier this evening. Jacob Brewer's unfortunately not going to be able to race tonight. So Dean Powell is going to be a little bit of useful help to Rainer tonight. I'm unsure of actually where he qualified. He wasn't in the top 10. So hopefully he can make up some positions early on in the race to assist Rainer. But a little bit unlikely. We haven't seen too much of Dean in the top 10, unfortunately, this season. So I think it's just going to be Rainer out on his lonesome. But he's done it week in, week out, and he's definitely made a name for himself in this series, that's for sure.
You're getting yourself out onto the racetrack to take us on a hot lap, but whereabouts are you at the moment?
Coming through the famous Brocky skyline, mate. Just getting those tyres nice and warm, and we'll be able to shoot off and give the viewers a little bit of an insight to... We've done a shootout hot lap. We'll give them a little bit of insight to what a race hot lap's going to be like, with a little bit of fuel saving, where to lift, and how early to apply the brakes, where to downshift a little bit earlier, just to save that little bit of fuel on board, and obviously look after the tyres to get that a little bit of a longer stint over the drivers up front.
Quickly, as a lead-in, I want you to also have a chat about, at the end or at the start, whichever is your preference, the difference in track conditions, because we're at the start of the day for the race, 10 o'clock. The session here is 8 o'clock, and for the shootout, we're in the afternoon period, about 4 or 5 o'clock. That's not a good way to start it either, Matt.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So I'll just let Brian Cooper go by here. He's off into the pits, but we'll start it off a nice race hot lap. Not the way you want to start it coming out of the chase, but into the final corner, nice and easy, smooth on the throttle to come across and start your lap. Across the start-finish line, here we go. We're on for a lap. Up into fourth gear, just before the 100 board. Lift off a little bit earlier and just down change ever so slowly. Look after the tyres. Nurse it through Hell Corner and up Mountain Straight. But Sunday night, I was saying, let the lights go red on your tacho. Shift a little bit early. You'll see him go green on the dash, and then as soon as they all go green, give it a little bit of a click up onto the gears. Roll out of it at about the 150 board, and then apply the brakes. Downshift nice and late, just to look after the fuel. Ease it through, and you'll get a bit of a cleaner lap as well. Up here, lift off a bit earlier into the cutting. Nice and easy on the downshift. Pinch the brake, unfortunately, on that one. Lift a bit earlier, you won't be pinching as hard. Up over the hump, into Fujitsu corner to thread the needle, back off the throttle, and just let the car glide over the top here, into the grade. I'm only at about half throttle here. Flick it left in fourth, up against the wall, up into McPhillamy, round to the left again. I'm only about half throttle over the top still, into Brocky skyline, lift off a bit earlier, down into third, down into second, just let her coast all the way down into the dipper. Flick it right to run down to the elbow. Lift off just as you come out of the corner. Downshift into first just to pull the car up. Flick it back into second to come onto Conrod Straight. Like I said earlier, going up Mountain Straight. Shift when all the lights go green. Saves just that little bit more fuel as you come down. Once you get into the slipstream as well, ladies and gentlemen, that's where you're going to be saving the most fuel. Through into the chase, flat out. Lift off that bit earlier and just nurse it in to the chase itself. A little bit of a curb hop out onto the curb. Short shift into third, saves that little bit more fuel. Short shift again into fourth. Coming into the final corner, roll out of it and apply the brakes gently. Into the final corner we go. Easy on the throttle and across the finish line for a hot lap. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. A nice slow one by Delta on it was, I believe it was Sunday night. It was a 207 with a slippery track. Tonight I just eased it and coasted it around Mt Panorama, and I came out with a 206. So 206.8. But that just shows how much the track. And thank you very much on that one. It was track conditions definitely have changed though from Sunday night though, Zach. So it's definitely noticeable on the Delta. You can definitely feel it when you turn the car in. The front's not pushing as wide, and you're able to get the power down just that little bit earlier.
And that is also critical when you're talking about tenths and hundredths of a second here which we could be at the end of 41 laps. So I'm anticipating a last lap duke out between possibly the two championship combatants, Lasif Leonage and Reina Costello. I cannot wait to see what might unfold. And let's not forget, of course, Sean McNamara. He'd love to be the sting in the tail in the race just as much as he was in qualifying. And he's
going for that triple crown as well, don't forget. So he's going to be wanting to make the most of that one tonight.
Absolutely. Triple crown, of course, on the line. Double championship points on the line. So much to consider throughout the course of the evening. We've got about 2 minutes here, so let's run through the track map for you, ladies and gentlemen. You know and love this circuit. Mount Panorama Bathurst, the holy grail, the mecca, the bee's knees of Australian motorsport. Race distance is 41 laps. The top speed that these cars will reach will be somewhere towards the northern end of 290 kilometres an hour. 57% rather of this lap is spent at full throttle. 6.213 kilometres. 41 laps. The direction is anti-clockwise. The corners here, 23 of them, 14 to the left and 9 to the right. Variable weather conditions. You've seen that already. Safety car probability is high. We'll need to discuss that in just a moment, and there should be 3 pit stops in this race. Matt, your analysis of all of that, I mean, 41 laps, a smidgen over 250 clicks. It's going to be a long night at the office, a long, hard slog, but it's going to go quick.
It was just a long night in the office already, just doing a hot lap for everybody. So I can't imagine what the boys are going to be feeling doing 41 laps around here. I know 10 laps is a mission on its own, but 41 laps is definitely going to be putting the strain on the drivers. One to look out for will be fatigue, though, as well, ladies and gentlemen. So watch for drivers making those little mistakes, the pinching of the brakes into corners, the missing of the apexes. That's when you can tell a driver is starting to fatigue really bad.
Now, a couple of things. Let's talk about the time discrepancy here. When we have a look at the grid, ladies and gentlemen, the pace between the shootout and the previous qualifying session, I mean, Reina Costello, for instance, in second position, a 204.5. In qualifying, it was a 203.4 from him. And who should be on top in the warm-up? Lasif Leonage, 203.5 is the benchmark. Ben Morris, Reina Costello, Craig Schultz, they're all in the top 4 at the moment. Sean McNamara is 5th. Michael Angus, Simon Chadwick, Blake Urquhart, Alex Court and David Kirby, the top 10 after the morning warm-up. And the pace back where it was during the qualifying session, not the shootout. So everyone's got to get their game face on, preparing for those much better track conditions than what they had in the shootout, Matt. Although that being said, when this server ends at 8:30 track time, server time, it accelerates to 10 o'clock, and there could be a degree of difference again still.
Oh, well, thank you for covering me for a little bit while I just unstrapped out of the VR headset and got out of the sim just to jump back in the desk chair and be able to watch the live screen that everybody's seeing at home and to be able to help you out in the booth tonight. Look, I missed most of that question as I was getting out, so I'll just ask a quick, brief rundown of what went on.
So I was just talking about the discrepancy in the track time, because obviously, actually, I'll come back to that. We're going to have to come back to that because the session is over. The warm-up is over. Cars are lining up on the grid. Now, there is a contingency plan in place if things go wrong in the formation of this grid, unlike like what we saw in December, but we're looking good for the moment. So, on that token, it looks like we get a full 41 laps. Sean McNamara and Reina Costello, the front row. Lasif Leonage, Ben Morris, the second row. Blake Urquhart, Michael Angus, the third row. Simon Chadwick and Alex Court, the fourth. David Kirby, Simon Vella, the fifth. Craig Schultz and Dean Powell, the sixth. Seventh row, Peter Crossingham and Ash Davis. Eighth row, Brian Cooper and Chris Barnes. Ninth row, Ben Siren and Alan Dawson. 10th row, Lindsay Hobbs and Scott McCune. 11th row, Wade Michael, Craig Newell. 12th row, Tim Mulford and Cameron Jones. 13th row is where you'll find John Nicolau and Robert Crisdale, then Daniel Schultz and David Leslie, and then, of course, safety car and co-commentator on the back row. 44% fuel tank capacity on these cars. We've got cars lining up in pit lane, getting ready to go. This is the NTS SuperSeries Grand Finale of racing. Geez, they didn't muck around. Normally we've got more time than that. And Sean McNamara is going to lead the field to the first corner. Lasif Leonage forcing the issue down there on the inside. Couldn't get the job done. So he follows Costello through. A little bit of argy-bargy further back. Then look at this. Trouble!
Blake Urquhart in the grass.
He and Ben Morris were locking wheels halfway up Mountain Straight, Matt Davis. That was never going to end well.
Never end. Urquhart, my apologies, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Urquhart had an absolute stunner of a qualifying shootout on Sunday night, put him right up at the pointy end of the field, and just all went undone. So we'll see what the stewards like to say about that. I would class that as a racing incident. Rubbing is racing, and unfortunately locked wheels isn't going to go really well up Mountain Straight.
No, it's not. Now, 44% is the fuel limit capacity on these cars as well, so we'll get to the crunching of the numbers with regards to fuel in just a moment. 28 degrees on track, 20 ambient, and the wind is about a southerly, about 11 k's an hour. Sean McNamara leads the field across the top for the first time. Pit lane speed, 50 kilometres an hour. That's another piece of information we didn't cover off at the start. The incident count penalty points remain as they were in the first round of the season, 19x and every 9x thereafter. Be mindful of that. No fast repairs, which means safety cars are inevitable at some point around here, because we know that high risk and high reward also comes with high chance of safety cars around Mt Panorama. We just know that it's going to play a part at some point. We just don't know when. Rainer Costello closes in on Sean McNamara down Conrod for the first time. Into the chase. We ride with the guy that has won the last 4 races on the trot, and he is chasing after Sean McNamara, who's going out in pursuit of one more win this season in what hasn't been his best championship campaign, but he wants to send a message that he's ready to go in season 2. Simon Chadwick, God, geez, that was tight. Trying to get by David Kirby.
Oh,
Kirby's
no!
gone on!
Chadwick and Kirby! Kirby
That
does
is the
exactly what he
second.
did in the shootout.
Exactly, and that's the second incident Chadwick's been involved in 6.213 kilometres. Bang! Wow.
What's the front end of that 9.5 look like? That is the question. Was there much damage sustained from that incident, Zach?
Who would know? Oh, wow. What a start to this race. What a start. The simsnap.com iRacing photography replay shows and tells the story for you as we go back live with Craig Schultz up to the top, towards the top of the mountain one more time. Through the cutting they go. Now, McNamara, Costello, Leonage and Morris remain as they were. Michael Angus up 1. Dean Powell up 6 positions already. Up into 6th. Vella, Schultz, then Crossingham and Davis make up the top 10. Chadwick has dropped 4 positions back to 11th. But some big gains there between 6th and 10th in the early stages here. And we had 28 cars start this race. We were due for 29, but we had 28. Cameron Jones sitting down in 23rd position with all the work to do. 957 is going to cop a drive through for the contact on Triple A. That is Simon Chap on his way to pit lane.
That was on Alex.
So an early sting in the tail for Chadwick, who was one of the big performers in qualifying, Matt.
Definitely a big sting. I missed the incident there between Chadwick and Court on the opening lap.
Actually,
but
yeah.
Unfortunate for him, he's had a stellar performance. He put in that banker lap, and he agreed it was a banker lap. Here we go. Simsnap.com iRacing photography replay, ladies and gentlemen, of the incident between Chadwick and Court here.
Yeah.
See what exactly goes down. Might be up into Griffins or even the cutting. There goes Blake Urquhart and Benny Morris.
Yeah.
Oh, big incident down in the back of the field. So it's amazing what you see.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to see what happened here with Alex Court. It'll be at turn 2.
Then.
Yeah, there it is. Into Griffins. I was going to say, we missed the incident at the top of the screen there that you saw at the back of the pack. I saw a car off in the background, but we didn't get a chance to go back to it. So that now eradicates all of that. We now know exactly what happened on lap 1. Alex Court, that has championship implications, the fact that he has dropped all the way down the order, down into position number 17 now, and we are only on lap 3. That's
really going to hurt Laz as well, as Rainer Costello just goes fastest lap of the race, 2:04.57 for him, and McNamara and Laz not too far behind him. Actually, the top 4 are in the 2:04s at the moment. The rest of the field hovering in the 2:05s, 2:07s. Schultz with a bit of front end
There's a
damage
car
as
off
well.
the top of the mountain there.
Dean Powell dropped down the
Dean
order.
Powell,
down
I think, has
in
had a big one at the top of
20th.
the mountain.
Well, he's in 20th. He was in 6th, but just
Now,
in front
there
of
was
Simon
a car
Bella.
at the crest there at the top of the hill, boys. There was a car off to the right, off to the left-hand side, off to driver's right. So I'm not sure who that might have been, whether it was Dean Powell or whether it was somebody else, but there was definitely a car off to the right of the driver's approach over the top there to our left of screen. Sean McNamara under pressure from Rainer Costello, down to the chase for the third time.
As I was saying, Zach, Laz is really going to hurt from this, though. Court's not up there to obviously give him a little bit of a helping hand and protect him. So it leaves him open now for the boys behind him. So Morris, Angus, Crossing and Bella, Urquhart, Schultz and Davis, who are in the top 10. It's going to leave Leonage open to them a little bit. So Leonage might have to put the boot in, catch up with Costello and McNamara and try and stay with those guys and just push that little bit harder now that his defense mechanism, I should say, in Alex Court is going to be vacant, should I say.
And let's be perfectly honest, I think I've just had it relayed to me what Laz's plan is. I think Rayner will be planning to do the same thing. 0 incident points. That is critical. It is oh so critical in regards to the championship fight that his chance at an extra 5 points go out the window. And those 5 points could be the difference at the end of the title fight. And we said exactly the same thing after the fight for pole position the other night as well. Didn't go his way. Lap 4 of the NTS Bathurst 250 for you. Race distance just over 254 kilometres here tonight for you, ladies and gentlemen. 41 laps gets us to a quarter of the distance of the 1,000, which will bring you at the end of the year, of course, in December. Here's Brian Cooper leading a charge of cars across the top of the mountain. Siren, Dawson, McCune all in there, so too Hobbs and Court. They're all going out after. Here we go, 079.
Wade Michael
has copped the drive through as well. So Wade Michael's coming to the lane after contact on the 85, which was Tim Mulford. So that would have been the incident that's at the top of the screen that we'd missed at Hell Corner. And so we're all getting up. And that's interesting, isn't it? The mentality, the mindset of these guys, David. Well, that's true because we're all running retro deliveries.
Exactly.
85. I mean, when you look at it, Matt, 41 laps, and the fact that there's now only a quarter of the time to get the job done as there normally would be when you come here for an enduro, you can notice that everybody's a little bit more impatient. They're more keen to get on with the job, and I think that's why we've seen a bit of argy-bargy in the opening stages here.
Yeah, dying moments of the championship. They'll be wanting to try and make the most points as they possibly can. Robert Crisdale around the outside. Let's see how this one goes. Up on the inside, has a look. Does he get it done? No! No!
Oh, no!
Crisdale and Schultz by the looks of it.
Crisdale turns. No, it's Kirby in the 307.
Sorry, my apologies.
It's Kirby in the 307. And Crisdale's the one that's turned him around now.
Right, pink
Of course, let's... Crisdale's on the game 2 spot so far. Kirby's dropped 14 after that hip and shoulder halfway along Mountain Street. So, yeah, it hasn't been a great start for him. Now, car number 393 is also coming to the lane. Simon Vella on Dean Powell.
But that's why Dean
and unfortunately, David Leslie's withdrawn as well, Matt Davis. David Leslie's withdrawn because apparently he's sustained too much damage, David Leslie, so he's out of the race. That might have been the car that we saw go off at the top, I'm not sure.
That's Dean Powell.
Not sure what happened to Leslie, but he has sustained a heap of damage.
Dean Powell sustained some damage, David Leslie some damage. So David Leslie out, Dean Powell by the looks of it might be going out as well. He's been in the pits now for about 3 minutes, so he might just be jumping on board with Rayner maybe and just sitting there to spot for him. No. And Costello into the lead.
Rainer Costello, the man that's won the last 4 championship races in the NTS SuperSeries, leads on the mountain. And now, don't get me wrong, this Ford driver would love to pick up where he left off here in December as the winner alongside Lachlan Murphy in the Goodyear Auto Caravana Bathurst 1000. Let's see how he did it. Oh, slick precision-like from Rainer Costello down the inside. McNamara happy to let him go.
McNamara let him go. 555, car contact on the 307. So there it is.
On Kirby. That's the incident we saw.
That one was definitely a given. But Costello absolutely loves the mountain. We knew that last year with the 1000. Him and Lachlan Murphy stormed away with the win. And definitely going to be trying to do that tonight. Benny Morris with a few flashes of the lights on Lassus Leonage. Try to put him under a bit of pressure. And if Laz finishes one position further down tonight, that could potentially bring Costello up onto the top step. We'll just have to wait for points. Depends if Laz gets a clean race and if Rainer gets a clean race as well.
Exactly right. So, yeah, just getting it in our ear that if Lassus Leonage finishes 4th or higher, 3 places behind Costello only, he should be okay. But he doesn't want to be, so he doesn't want to be 5th. And at the moment, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th have gapped the rest of the pack. Michael Angus is 5th. Blake Urquhart a long way back in 6th. Then Peter Crossingham putting the pressure on him. Craig Schultz under pressure from Ash Davis and Brian Cooper at the moment making up the top 10. On to Conrad, lap 6 of 41. We're commercial free for you tonight on the platforms of SimShed Broadcasting as we bring you the NTS 250 from the mountain, the final round of 17 of the Nationwide Technology Systems V8 Super Series for 2021. Now, of course, there are 2 more of these championships to come this season. There'll be 12 rounds apiece, but we'll have more details on them a little bit later on in the night. Now, also, one piece of information we didn't crunch at the start of the broadcast there, Matt Davis, fuel burn. 48.4 litres worth of fuel in the tank at green, and 4.77 is about the average burn per lap. So that gives them a run of 10 laps. Now, we all know that you want to make this a 3-stop race. Oh, no, it's been a shocker of a night so far for Alex Court. What happened there?
A little bit of argy-bargy by the looks of it with, might have been Alan Dawson. Yes, it was.
Here we go.
Throws it up
this
on the
on
inside.
The
Yep.
That's all fair. That's all fine.
Jumps the curb and just he jumps into Alan Dawson. So nothing on Alan Dawson. Alan Dawson held his line perfect. Just caught a little bit too much curb there, ladies and gentlemen. Just it bucks the car over into Alan Dawson, and unfortunately, Court was the one that lost out.
Now, going back to the fuel issue, Matt Davis, critically important to note here that if we get a safety car, everyone will save enough fuel in one of these stints to stretch it out over 3 stops. But if they're going to go at 10, 10, 10, we know that they're going to need to save a bit on that last stint to stretch it out to 11, so that they only have to make 3 stops here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one to watch. Strategy is a big one tonight. I didn't actually see and hear the tyre limits tonight. I'm sure you'll be able to refresh me on that one. There we go. So they've only got the one stop.
One spare set.
One spare set of tyres, well, not one stop, but one spare set of tyres for the night. So it's definitely going to make it interesting. We all know Bathurst as Jones is all over the back of Court now as they come into the dipper. And the retro livery on that KFC entry looks amazing, mind you. So, but no, definitely,
good.
Definitely one. I've completely just lost my train of thought. So I got carried away with Jones and the KFC.
You were talking about the tyres. You were talking about the
tyres are definitely going to be one to hurt around Bathurst.
Yeah,
tyres are definitely going to hurt 100%.
He's making a lunge on Court down Conrad. Have a look at that. Job done. Court displaced by Jones, and Jones into 17th now. The charge continues, but we know it's an uphill push from here. A safety car would help both of these guys out at some point, but at the moment, it looks as though our title fight is down now to 2 between Costello and Leonage. And speaking of which, there's Leonage past Ben Morris. So Leonage sits third. He's happy to sit there for the moment because it's not going to be one now. It's going to be one in 34 laps' time. We're on lap 8, the early stages thereof, as they stretch it up towards the cutting one more time. Now, Matt Davis, when you look at the other issue here, we've only had one extra set of tyres up our sleeve in all of the races so far. Most people have opted to take them at the second stop. I dare say strategy remains the same tonight, despite the fact that this is a 3-stopper, because if you're on a set of tyres for 30 laps around here, they're going to be as good as fried.
Yes, definitely going to be good as fried. I believe Rayner's going to try and stretch it out. We always know that that Rayner's one to take his tyres in the very last stop. But again, it all comes down to if there is a safety car or not as well, Zach. So if the safety car comes out, watch for the guys try and take those tyres a little bit earlier on and look after them.
Down through the S's into the dipper one more time. We're watching Chris Barnes in 15th. The whole field will get a fair show tonight if they put on a show like this. Down to John Nikolaus, who's up to 16th, in fact. Let's have a look at the big movers so far. So Dean Powell lost 15 positions. David Leslie's out of the race. So Dean Powell in the pit lane at the moment has been for 10 minutes. He's dropped 15 positions. I dare say we won't see him take any further part tonight. Simon Chadwick has been in the pit lane for 3 minutes now as well. He's going to go 2 laps down. He's lost 19 positions. Simon Vella in 25th has lost 15 positions, but he is still circulating, albeit a lap down. Wade Michael. Oh, no! Big one! Massive shunt for the 23. That's John Nikolaus going through the chase. He's lost the rear wing. I'll come back to what I was saying in just a moment. John Nikolaus, no surprise, into pit lane, but that allows the race to continue on, Matt Davis. We go safety car free through the first 8 laps. We're on to lap 9. So Costello and McNamara, they're the only swap in the top 4. They've gained and lost 1 respectively. Michael Angus is up to 5th, having gained 1 position. Peter Crossingham and Brian Cooper have gained 6 and 7 positions respectively, from 13th and 15th on the grid to sit 7th and 8th. Craig Schultz has gained 2 positions to be 9th. Ash Davis has gained 4 to be 10th. Scott McCune has gained 9 positions. He is 11th. Ben Siren's gained 5 positions, gone from 17th to 12th. Lindsay Hobbs has gained 6 positions up to 13th. Alan Dawson having gained 4 positions up in 14th. Cameron Jones has gained 8 positions from 24th to 16th. And Alex Court has lost 9. Daniel Schultz, despite starting down in 20th. Oh, no! Scott McCune's gone round. That's a tricky spot to get out of. Into the cutting he came, and he looped it. Oh, dear.
Oh,
big hit.
And
Massive
lucky
hit.
enough to only get away with that much damage. A little bit of splitter damage and guard damage, and lucky enough just to get away with that, but it will definitely hurt him coming down Conrod and up Mountain Straight.
Now, can he get it turned around? That's the question. Yes, he can. The race remains green still. But the big losers, Matt Davis, just to finish up what I was saying. So Cameron Jones up 9 positions now to 15th, Court down 8 to 16th. Craig Newell's gained 5, Daniel Schultz has gained 8. They are 8. They are 17th and 19th rather. David Kirby, having lost 11 positions, sits 20th. And Robert Crisdale has gained 3 but is in the pit lane at the moment. And big losers down in 25th, 26th and 27th. So a lot of movement up and down the order. It's been jumbled up nicely, but that's what Bathurst delivers.
Bathurst delivers Cooper in. Here we go. Brian Cooper into the pits. Could this be for the first pit stop? Yes, it will. It's lap 10. So he's in for the first pit stop. Here's the first of everybody to come in. The leaders are still out. So they've managed to save enough fuel, which surprisingly is good going, considering they've been circulating in the high 204s, low 205. So amazing pace by the front runners. But Bathurst definitely throws up a lot of entertainment for the viewers, and not only just them, but for us in the booth as well. I mean, you've got a concrete circuit across the top, and then you've got an open field across the bottom. You've got the best of both worlds, and every year there's bound to be a safety car. I don't even think the 1000's gone safety car free. I think the longest it was I think it was about 80 laps or something, wasn't it? Safety car free at some point.
Something like that. Yep. 2013 they only had 2 cautions. That's the least that we've seen in many years.
Yeah, well, at least I've seen it in my lifetime anyway. So, I mean, I'm not one to brag. I'm only a young'un over here, but
I think you'd
I'm
have to
still
go
yet
back to
see safety car free event.
1991. 1991 seems to ring a bell as a race that might have run safety car free because it was a race record for the time at 6 hours and 19, and that remained that way until Craig Lowndes obliterated it by 7 minutes in 2010, and then Mark Winterbottom took another minute off that in 2013. And then, of course, Lowndes obliterated 6 hours 11 to go 6 hours and 1 minute in 2018 in scenes that I'll never forget.
Yeah, well, there it goes. Just to show the safety car free was before my time. McNamara in the pits. Costello out for one more lap. Leonage is in. Angus is in. Pit lane starting to light up here, Zach.
This is huge that Rainer Costello and Ben Morris are going on for an 11th lap. Alex Court down into 14th now. Good move there on the inside of Chris Barnes. Halfway down Conrod. Now, does he come in this lap as well? Look at pit lane. It's a hype of activity. Court is in. There you go. McNamara, Leonage, Angus, Urquhart, Crossingham, Schultz, Davis, Hobbs, Siren, Jones, Dawson, Court and Barnes all in the lane.
You can almost caught the entire
field. 13 cars in the lane.
Make that 14. What does Daniel Schultz do? Does he go in the lane? No, he stays out for one more lap by the looks of it.
Right, Schultz. Pit stop from McNamara.
Only 2 to stay out, Zach. That's very, very interesting.
Yeah. And do they know something that we don't? Are they able to stretch this and get an 11th lap out of their stint? I'm a little bit surprised. But that actually doesn't serve the competition well if Rainer's been able to get 11 out now, because he's going to be able to go harder at the tail end of the race when the guys are going to be in fuel safe mode.
Possibly, yes. I mean, in saying that, Rainer doesn't look like his last lap was a 2:05.16, so he's not that far off. He's actually on the pace. He was faster than McNamara that time last lap round. So I've been saying that McNamara did go into the pits. So but he has been the faster of the duo out the front there. So he's still on the pace nonetheless. What does he do? He will stay on board. Is he going to come into the pits? Yes, he does. Hugs it to the left and in he goes. So this is going to play key. What does Benny Morris do? He's surely got to come into the pits. Yes, he does. Now, where's McNamara on the track coming out of the elbow? Pit stop time about 21 seconds. That's not including pit lane transit.
Now, I think there's been a wall scrape somewhere, judging by the sound effects coming through my earpiece. So because I've got my iRacing server set to focus on crashes, so we'll chase that up. There might be a car that's scraped the wall somewhere. Rainer Costello and Ben Morris in the meantime.
Due to the UPIC of the NBN world.
That's it, exactly. Now,
Rainer Costello stationary.
Still in the box as Sean McNamara comes onto the main straight. This is a big moment here. Does McNamara hold sway or does Costello? Costello's on his way out. Here we go. Oh, he's got him covered. Rainer Costello has absolutely blitzed it with a stop of 22.1. So he actually spent an extra second in the box than McNamara by virtue of the fact that he...
makes up a second and a half, 2 seconds on McNamara.
I mean, and by virtue of the fact that he also went a lap longer, that's why he took an extra second worth of fuel on. Let's not forget about that in a hurry. But then to then have a lead of 2.5 seconds, this guy is on a mission tonight.
Leonage down in 4th. Benny Morris was able to pip Leonage out of the pits as well. So that's another banker for Rainer Costello there. Leonage's only got to drop 1 more position, and that's championship to Costello there. So Leonage is going to be playing the damage prevention right now, I think. Unless
he doesn't get bonus points. If Costello misses out on bonus points, it could be toast. Now, drive-through penalty for the 74. That's Chris Barnes for contact on Alex Court on lap 11. So Barnes is coming to pit lane. The penalties have been flowing freely tonight. Don't worry about that. Race control of taking no prisoners on the mountain. Curb usage here, high. Have a look at them, smashing the curbs as they go across Skyline and then down into the Dipper as well. You're watching Peter crossing them.
One of the sketchiest parts of the track, might I say. You've got no brakes coming over the over Skyline there and down as you swing it right then left. The brakes are next to none as you're the whole car wants to lift off the ground and almost take flight to jump down into the elbow there.
Now, just having a look, race time thus far, 22:59. They are flying at this point in time. Remembering, of course, the 1,000 that we ran just on Christmas time there was run in 6 hours neat. 6 hours and a few seconds over. We didn't get the 6 hours, 1 minute. We ran a very quick 1,000. So the pace tonight is electric. 25:46 the race time as Raider Costello completes another lap. Lap 12 in the books here. Server time has it showing at 10:27 and 18 seconds at this point in time. So it's the earliest start for a 1,000 that I can recall since 2006. They've all been 10:30 or north since then as Alex Court comes down into Murray's corner.
A little bit of damage there on the side of his car as well. Looking a little bit worse for wear. Unfortunately, you won't be able to get as much damage fixed as you possibly would like to. You'd be trying to get little bits and pieces, maybe taking a few seconds in the pit stops, which his last pit stop's about on par with everybody else. So didn't take any repairs there. So he'll be feeling the effects right now coming up Mountain Straight, Zach.
Yeah, he will. Up over the rise and down. Don't forget, folks, stick around post-race here. We'll take you right through till about 10:30 Eastern with a wrap-up of this grand finale and a wrap-up of the championship as well. We'll have not only the top three from the race, but the top three from the championship sitting in, and we'll get their thoughts on what they do between now and when Season 2 starts, this time in a fortnight. Remember to join us for all of that action from the RSRA SuperSeries, and of course also V8 T2 as well, the Super 2 on the Wednesday night. So that's going to be fantastic. Of course, don't forget also tomorrow night, SimShed Broadcasting, home of the GAC V8 T2 E-Series Grand Finale from 8 Eastern, and Matt Davis will have the call there for you on Saturday night. Aidan Schultz and I in the booth to bring you Weekend Warriors action as well. So looking forward to all of that on the platforms of SimShed Broadcasting across YouTube and Facebook. It's great to have you with us. Lap 14 on the mountain. We are riding with Alex Court. Geez, I feel for Alex Court, Matt, because whilst it was going to be a long shot for him to win this title, he would have liked to have wrapped up third at best, at worst even, a lot better than this. And unfortunately, it was always going to be an uphill slog once the incidents of the events of lap 1 unfolded.
He's such a great great driver, Court is. So for him to be that far down the pack, it's unfortunate. He's such a humble boy. Every time he comes into the booth, he's always friendly and always got a little bit of enthusiasm behind him as well when he finishes up there, especially when he goes 1-2 with Laz. So he'd be wanting to be a lot higher than what he is, and hopefully and maybe even take a podium position tonight. But unfortunately, that's looking very unlikely unless he can miraculously pull some pace out of that car and a few people in front of him drop away.
14, but when Rainer Costello gets back to the line, we'll be a third of the way through this race, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be 14 down, 27 to go on Mt Panorama on a Tuesday night. And look at Rainer Costello, the green-eyed monster. Race. How good does that look? And he's 4 seconds to the good over Sean McNamara, Ben Morrison, Lassev Leonage. Now projecting the points, if both drivers have a 0x as it stands, and it'll be Rainer Costello 2,230. Rainer and Lassev Leonage. I'll get him right. I'll get him right eventually. It'll be Lassev Leonage 2,237. So at the moment, Laz has got this championship by 7 points.
It's close. That is for sure, Zach. And here we go. So
incident
that's the
points showing there on your screen at the moment.
So far. McNamara 1, Costello and Leonage 0 each. Angus 0 as well. Benny Morris 0. So that just goes to show these boys are really starting to knuckle down on the driving and try and get those extra bonus points, which really help them. And it's if they could have done it in the start of the season, the top 10 could have been a different story.
Costello missed out on pole by a quarter of a second, 0.245 from Sean McNamara. He would have netted 5 championship points for pole. It would have possibly turned this title fight on its ear and put a bit more pressure on Lassif Leonage, who, quite rightly, Matt, would be feeling it coming into this round, given that he hasn't had the best lead up to the grand finale.
No, he's been working a lot of hours, Leonage, so to see him working those amount of hours, and that's half the reason why I got out of the driving side of things, is because I just simply couldn't do the hours in the sim to get ready for race night. To see him able to actually still get out on track and really show it to these guys is a statement on its own. To do all those hours at work and then get the time in the sim just goes to show how tired that man must be. And geez, it's been a long season, 17 rounds. So the longest season these guys have actually had to do ever, I believe, in the NTS SuperSeries.
Yep.
So it's going back to the GOC as well. The longest season they've ever had to do. So these drivers are definitely going to be feeling it.
They are. Let us know where you're tuning in from tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know how much you're enjoying the grand finale, the season 1. This is the entree to the main course, of course. A little bit later on in the season, we will bring you. This is the entree. The season 2 finale will be the main course, and then dessert is 1,000 kilometres of pure heaven when we get to Mt Panorama for the Bathurst 1000 for SimShed Broadcasting in December, and we can hardly wait for that. As far as this week is concerned, tonight is the main course, tomorrow night is dessert. Come back and join us for the V8 T2E Series Grand Finale.
Chadwick around the cutting.
Trouble.
By the looks of it, he's just cooked a little bit too much. Simsnap.com iRacing photography replay, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Chadwick up on into the cutting. What happens? Catches a little bit too much brake and was lucky to get away with just what he had there and just a little bit of a graze across the front bumper of that Ford Mustang.
Easy enough to do. Won't be the last incident we see at the cutting tonight, I'm sure. So here's Alan Dawson limping down into the chase. He's in a little bit of trouble here, Dawson, but he should be able to get it back to the lane. So therefore, we continue to go green. We're not getting that safety car we thought we would. Here's Dawson. Oh no! He caught the grass. Big shunt. Massive shunt. And how lucky was Alex caught? Wow.
Pride of his life,
Dawson's out of business. He's in the pit lane, smoking up.
Safety car.
And that's going to be a lot of repair time for him tonight. Not how the Excalibur Esports entry would have liked to have ended this season. Up over the top one more time. Commitment plus from Lindsay Hobbs, his teammate in 9th at the moment. Under pressure from Cameron Jones, who continues to move through the field. I don't know what happened to his front end, but he is pushing it to the ragged edge here. He won't want to get held up by Hobbs for too much longer. Lap 16 of 41.
He's made a good comeback here. He's up 14 positions in position 10, so he's in the top 10 now after starting in 24th position from pit lane, might I add you. So, big bump on the wall by Jones as he comes out of Forest Elbow onto Conrod Straight. That's not going to help him. And starting from pit lane as well, ladies and gentlemen, you start, you get moving and mobile once the cars have actually cleared the first corner. So, once the last car leaves the first corner and goes past the pit control line, that is when you are clear to go.
Jeez, I tell you what, he just barely hung on to it then there, Hobbs. And Jones has been able to get up the outside. That puts him on the inside for Murray's. And all of a sudden, Jones is 9th. The charge continues. But we know that race victory from here is still a very long shot.
Sixth,
the hell corner again.
Lap 16 in the book, start of 17 of 41.
25 to go, 150k. So they've got the extra 100 out of the way. The 100 that we normally see added on to these enduros. That's done. Now we've got 150 to contend with, which is our usual race distance on a Tuesday night. So now the hard slog begins for these guys, because they're going to start to feel, as you said earlier, Matt, a little bit of fatigue towards that 150, 200 kilometre mark, which is only 50 k's away now, because they're used to just having a short, sharp sprint.
Short, sharp sprint indeed. I mean, 25 laps around Bathurst, that's a big feat on its own, but add another 17 laps to that, go to 41, 42 laps. That's a mission on its own, and it's, I mean, I'm glad these guys are doing it and not us, to be honest. I mean, our voices already get a workout, so you can imagine in the seat, that's going to be even worse.
Exactly right. I'm quite happy to let my voice box pay the price for the excitement rather than the rest of my body. Like these guys will be feeling it. I'm looking forward to that week off, though. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I don't know what to do with myself next Tuesday night now. I might have to make plans. So, I was very lucky enough last time I had no Tuesday night plans. I got to catch up with a radio colleague and go out for a drink. That was lovely. But that was 12 weeks ago. A social life. It'd be nice to have it, wouldn't it?
It definitely would be, but look, I'm actually looking forward to that week off. It's going to allow me to get a lot done to the race cars. I'm racing on the 26th, starting my first. Oh, Tim Mulford with a shortcut through Skyline. Got a little bit crossed up. Aspect to so I was actually competing my first Speedway event on the 26th of this month. I was meant to be racing the weekend coming, Queen's birthday weekend, but due to the good old lockdown rules in Victoria, thank you Dan Andrews and the government there.
The U pick.
Yeah, the U pick. They've definitely locked us down and weren't able to race on Queen's birthday. But it looks for Tim Mulford. His steering's actually gone a bit how you going. He might have been given just a little bit of a flick left, flick right, just to see how it was turning. Looks like it's already got through the chase pretty clean, and he's on the power hard again. So
certainly is. Hey, Matt, I'll just jump in here, getting a message from race control. Oh no, we've got a car stopped on the run up towards the cutting. Peter Crossingham stopped on the way up to the cutting, and if he stays there, that will be a safety car. Car 190 damaged the bonnet early with some minor rubbing, so Cameron Jones is okay to keep going with that. But the other problem was 955, which is Ash Davis. He had massive steering damage with 45-degree right hand down. That's a problem for him going forward, and the rest of the field could have a problem with the safety car here potentially if they can't move Peter Crossingham.
They can't move Peter Crossingham here. Costello's got a couple lapped cars if the safety car does come out. So that'll give him a nice buffer over McNamara if the safety car does decide to come out. And we'll get a fall on it shortly. I think I just saw it actually moving in the pit lane towards the end there. So there it is. That's the safety car is out.
The safety car has been deployed. There you go. So Peter Crossingham triggers the first caution of the night. Now, it's at a critical point as well. It's at a hugely critical point because this is lap 19. Rainer Costello's not in his fuel window yet. He could have got an extra couple of laps. But so we've got a safety car right here, right now. And everyone will take fuel. Everyone will probably take tyres as well, Matt Davis. And then it's a fuel-safe game for the rest of the run home. This is huge. Ryan Cooper and Cameron Jones in pit lane right now, actually. They've seen their opportunity and gone early. They're playing for track position.
This could actually play into
which they'll have when they latch onto the back of the clue.
They will. I reckon this might actually play into the hands of Jones, Newell, Kirby, Cooper, all those guys that have already pitted. It's definitely going to play into the hands of them. So Costello might actually try and do the old, it might even stay out and then just see what happens. But he's got to play it smarty. He's in the lead. McNamara's behind him. Leonard's is behind him as well. He's got to think of championship now. Does he pit now? Does he take the fuel on and run it as long as he can run it? Or does he hang it out go for a couple flying laps and try and get a gap. But again, that's going to drop him down the field if everyone else is already pitted.
So fuel windows are a huge talking point at this point in time, because we were talking at the start of the race about 10-lap fuel windows. The need to save a little bit here and there to get one 11-lap run to make it a 3-stop race for yourself. Now they're going to have to save twice. They're going to have to try and get 22 laps out of 20 laps of fuel. This is going to be a critically important next stanza of this race once they all top up and get fuel at the end of lap 19. What a storyline we've got here at Mt Panorama. This is huge. So let's go through a little bit of the ins and outs of tonight before we go any further. Rainer Costello continues to lead. Sean McNamara is second. They have been 1 and 2 in no particular order all night long. Ben Morris is third. Lassif Leonage is fourth. They have been there all in that no particular order all night long. Michael Angus and Blake Urquhart has got his way back to 6th position. Lindsay Hobbs, a big mover tonight, up to 7th from 19th on the grid. Ben Siren from 17th up to 8th. Brian Cooper has moved up from 15th to 11th. Cameron Jones up 12 positions to 12th. Craig Newell up to 13th, up 9 positions. Now, Jones, Cooper, and Newell have all completed their second stop. We're about to see the rest of the field come in for their second stop. Rainer Costello.
Costello stays out.
No. Costello stays out.
Tomorrow.
Wow. And so does Leonage and Morris. I'm hugely surprised by that. Because now they run the risk of having to run a green flag pit stop.
Well,
because the safety car, I think they're going to. I think the safety car will come in at the end of the lap. Yeah, true. I think the safety car comes in at the end of the lap.
So they can run from the top and coast it the whole way down from Skyline through, and if they hold enough speed behind the safety car, they're able to coast it pretty much nearly the whole way down to the start-finish line with only a few engages of the actual gears. So they can save, I think I did it the other night, you can save about half a lap just by doing that in fuel if you just coast it with the clutch in. So you can get a few extra laps. If they go around, say, twice, you can definitely coast around from the top and save yourself, a good maybe lap and a half.
Wow, this race just took an interesting turn because Brian Cooper is now the best placed of those who've pitted twice. He's 9th, Cameron Jones 10th, Craig Newell 11th, David Kirby 12th, Tim Mulford 13th, Daniel Schultz 14th, Michael Angus 15th, Chris Barnes, Blake Urquhart, Wade Michael down to 18th. Robert Crisdale is 19th, but he's in the pit lane, and he's out on the track, but he's a lap down, so forget about that. Scott McCune also a lap down. Simon Vella in the pit lane has been for a minute. Peter Crossingham, forget about him. Ash Davis, Alan Dawson, they've been in the pit lane for a considerable amount of time. I dare say their night will be done in that sense. But for everybody else, for that top 8 to Alex Court, they're rolling the dice here. They're playing a huge gamble here because the safety car, I dare say, will be in at the end of this lap, and therefore either they'll come in behind the safety car or they'll stretch this out for another couple of laps and run green flag pit stops. Either way, I think it's a huge gamble.
Costello's, he's the one that pitted the last out of everybody, so exactly. He's gonna be the one to watch out of all this. He can go that extra lap, and we know that he's good at saving fuel on a safety car. So is Laz. So they're gonna be the two to watch definitely. But it makes it interesting as well because everyone that's gone in under safety car now will have a longer stop next time round.
long laps behind the safety car here, but the safety car is pulling up towards pit lane. The field is backed up behind Rainer Costello. The safety car is coming to the lane. Oh, this is it. This is the restart.
And this is fuel save mode for Costello, Leonage, and everybody. Be smart, clutch it in, and just follow the leader. And look how slow Costello is going. Quick little engagement of the gear just to pick the pace back up. He'll clutch in just here and on the run to Hull Corner. Right about now, I'd say, is where he'd be wanting to think, right, I'm going to go as soon as we start going on the downhill, just to get that jump over McNamara and Benny Morris.
He can do that because he's got that lap car of Robert Crisdale in behind. Costello race back on the mountain. 21 laps to go. This is the lap that gets us to halfway. Great restart from Rainer Costello, McNamara, Morris and Leonage. The top four at the moment remain status quo. But they've all got to come to the pit lane in the next few laps. And there's no way that this will be their last stop. It will stretch out the third stop window, though, because everyone that pitted behind the safety car will be looking about lap 30 as their critical number. These guys are now going to be looking towards 32, 33. So instead of having everyone heading for the lane around the same time, it's going to stretch out over about 24, 25 kilometres here. Up through the cutting. Costello, McNamara, Morris. McNamara trying to get by Crisdale to go with Costello and has done.
Leonage under
Brilliant
pressure
restart
by Hobbs as well. So he's going to be wanting to look in the rearview mirror. Hobbs is right up close to Leonage at the moment. So if there's a little bit of netcode or something and it takes Leonage out, that's the race done. So Leonage just going to have to be careful here what happens behind him and try not to battle too hard. If he's got the pace, let him go and try and make the comeback, I guess. But if he loses that extra position, that's championship done.
Exactly right. And we know that Leonage wants to maintain that number one. He wants to keep that on his side there. Oh boy. You can just feel the tension, can't you?
Oh,
it's mind-boggling. So Robert Crisdale needs to be careful here too, Matt Davis, because at this point in time, he's sitting there third in queue, but he's a lap down. So eventually, race control will get sick of him sticking in tow there. They'll want him to move out of the road and let these guys by.
Yeah, rules are rules though. They know the rule book. They've seen the updates on our Discord pages and forums here. That the blue flags do show you've got two sectors to go, and to allow that faster car to clear you. But again, it's rules are rules. But safety control, race control. They may be looking at it different, saying, well, Crisdale's not really holding up Benny Morris here on lap times, and they're both going with McNamara. Obviously, if he does hold him up, that's when we'll give him the hurry along. But it's there he goes. Allows Benny Morris to clear him.
And soon enough, Lassif Leonage will be able to follow. Morris is cleared. Morris has clear air now to try and go with Sean McNamara, but the margin is 2.5 seconds. So McNamara made light work of Crisdale. Morris got stuck behind. Now Leonage is coming across Crisdale at a critical point of the circuit. And how often have we seen trouble over the years, Matt Davis, down towards the elbow here?
Year in, year out, you see trouble coming in the elbow. It's apart from Skyline, and I think just you can pretty much say for the rest of Bathurst is a tricky braking section as well. The elbow is definitely one. You're braking right and then you're braking left. So you've got two curved braking zones into that one. The car lifts as it goes, as you flick it right, but then it's lifting just a little bit as you come down into Forest Elbow itself. So it's hard to get it turned in and stopped.
Certainly is. Have a look at this. Everyone's on edge. Everyone can feel the pressure mounting here.
Leonage
Sean
in the
McNamara in the
pits.
line. Here we go. Leonage as well. Hobbs goes too. Morris and Costello continue on exactly as they did last time around. But it is Sean McNamara, Lassif, Leonage, Lindsay, Hobbs, all on pit road. So too Ben Saran, Alex Court, and Craig Schultz. So the six of the eight have checked into the pit lane right now, lap 22. The start of lap 23. Rainer Costello, Ben Morris going on for at least another lap. And this will mean that these guys will get home on one more stop. Everybody else that pitted on 18 has a little bit of saving to do. 3 wide almost. Urquhart trying to fight his way back into this race. Oh, jeez.
Urquhart 2 for 1 deal.
What about that? Great
Urquhart
pressure
looked
mode
for the
racing.
2 for 1 deal.
Oh, don't look it up, don't look it up. Nope, you're okay. Urquhart trying to get away by Michael Angus. He's got back to 7th after banging wheels on the opening lap. They go nicely across the top of the mountain. Car 85 on 957, drive through, lap 20. So car 85 is Blake Urquhart. Sorry, is Tim Mulford, I should say. I'm looking at the wrong board. So Tim Mulford in the 85 for contact on
Chadwick.
Simon Chadwick, and that's the 3rd time Chadwick's been caught up in an incident tonight.
He's not having a
Fraught
night
with
to
danger
remember,
this
is he?
place. Not at all. Fraught with so much danger, Mt Panorama, but so much reward if you get it right. Rainer Costello doing everything he needs to do to stay in this motor race.
What's Costello do here? Does he stay up for that extra lap? Does he pit? There he is,
Yes,
into
he
the
does.
pits.
There we go. Ben Morris
Morris
follows.
follows
No
suit.
surprise there.
And that
Now.
gives Cameron Jones the lead of the race.
This is huge. What a fight back from Cameron Jones, but we know he's got to play a fuel save game. He has to save some fuel. McNamara is 13th. So this
If
isn't
I
going
was
to
Cameron
balance out
Jones
yet.
in that situation, if I was Cameron Jones, I would have pitted with Costello and them to try and get as much fuel. I would have tried to done the calculations, but will it justify it? That is the next question.
Correct. Onto the main straight. Here comes Sean McNamara in 13th. Rainer Costello still in his box. And moving now. Rainer's moving now. Rainer's going to get him again, I think. Have a look at this. Rainer Costello out. Just ahead of Sean McNamara. Look at that. And the 85 of Tim Mulford goes with them for good measure. Robert Crisdale, I was going to say too, he'd be hoping for a safety car right about now because he'd get his lap back.
Yes, he definitely
He
would.
would get his lap back. If he can just stay ahead of Cameron Jones, and he's only marginally ahead at the moment, he would get his lap back. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Cameron Jones has better ideas, or other ideas at the very least. 24 of 41. This race not following any similar script. Oh,
Tim
no, big one!
Mulford!
Massive shot for Tim Mulford out of the cutting, and that will be our second safety car. Wow! The game changes again. You can never write a script for Mt Panorama because you just end up tearing it out, throwing it out the window and burning it. And there is the crash and burn for Tim Mulford. He's got wedged in the wall. And that's iRacing for you. Night done for Tim Mulford. That will be our second safety car. Cameron Jones is in as a result of that to top up. You won't get home from there and all of a sudden becomes a 4-stop race. Massive,
There's
massive
the
moment.
safety car.
And huge implications in this race for all concerned. And Robert Crisdale, sensibly enough, did continue on. He will therefore get his lap back, and David Kirby will be the one that picks up the safety car. Or the safety car will be having to pick up David Kirby because he's the effective leader at the moment. Wow, wow, wow. You just never know with this place.
Big spanner in the works, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Jones out in front of Costello as well after his pit stop. So he's in 4th position now. He's had a stellar strategy game.
This is a huge moment for him, as he's got out ahead of Rainer Costello, and he's on a similar strategy to these guys now. Cameron Jones is the big winner out of all of that. Tom Heyman tuning in, of course.
Leonage, the biggest loser out of all of that.
Yep, absolutely, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Can we just focus? I just want to give Tommy Heyman a big shout out at this point in time, because of course he was a competitor in our series at the start of the year. He's gone off and dabbled in some Aussie racing cars and a few other things. I caught up with him at Morgan Park over the course of the weekend just gone. Great young guy. He'll be back in the NTS server at some point, I'm sure. I believe he's lodged his application for the new season, and it'll be great to have him back on the grid. But he is tuning in tonight and enjoying every second of it, mate. Great to have you on board, Ride, and looking forward to seeing you back on the grid next season. Lap 25 of 41. Matt Davis, let's just run through the order here because, as you said, Lassif Leonage is the big loser in all of this. David Kirby, Craig Neil Wade, Michael Cameron Jones, Rainer Costello is 5th. Rainer Costello is 5th. So count them. Brian Cooper, Sean McNamara, Blake Urquhart, Chris Barnes, Daniel Schultz, Michael Angus, Ben Morris. Then Lassif Leonage in 13th. At this point, that might just be enough for Rainer Costello, but I'm not sure. And we know that this order is going to change. But what we also know is that everyone from here has to stop again. This is now a race to the finish, about buying your ticket to the last 10 laps here, getting to the finish, and doing so cleanly, unscathed, staying out of trouble, running your race, and then track position is king. Because we've got past that point of strategy having to be played. We know that everyone has to stop once from here on in. It's just a matter of when.
Strategy's going to be a big one. And I mean, safety cars breed safety cars around Bathurst. That is an absolute given. The tyres cool off. The drivers get all relaxed. They're not in the zone. And unfortunately, you see mistakes like Timmy Mulford. And Timmy Mulford could have driven that home if he had not have got the iRacing glitch and got stuck. Should I say stuck? He got absolutely buried, nearly 3/4 of the car all the way into the wall. So that just goes to show a little bit of lapse in concentration on the opening laps, and while your tyres come back up to temp, can play really costly in the race.
Another example of things that only happen in iRacing. Wedged in the wall, and the wall didn't move. Extraordinary. The safety car will go around one more time.
You wouldn't think a concrete barrier would move, though, when it's pressed up that hard against third either.
No, that's exactly right. And you wouldn't think a car that would be able to get through it either. But sure enough, Tim Mulford has proven wrong yet again.
We've seen an F1 car go through the coaming rail as well, mate, and they're meant to ricochet cars on. We've seen that an F1 car go straight under the coaming rail. So luckily enough, cars do end up able to go through walls.
Yeah, yep.
Well, should I say not luckily enough, but unluckily enough.
Yes. Now, Ash Davis is on pit road, still has been for about 12 minutes now. Simon Chadwick is in the pit lane as well. But he has also been there for a while. So at this point in time, boys, Tim Mulford out. Simon Vella showing as a lap down. Scott McCune showing as a lap down. Robert Crisdale, however, will get his lap back. So we'll have 18 cars on the lead lap here when we get back underway, which will hopefully be this time by. And that'll give us 15 to go, and there will be a splash and dash required. What a scenario we've got here with just over half an hour to go. Don't touch the dial, ladies and gentlemen. Don't move a muscle. Don't leave the lounge if you can help it. Now, I hope you've got the tennis from Roland Garros on one screen and us on the other, and all eyes on this for the next half hour, because you don't want to miss this. This is about track position. This is about working your way through, particularly if you're Lassif Leonage, because everyone has a stop to go, and Leonage is buried in 13th, 8 positions behind his championship combatant, Rainer Costello. The title is about to be decided in the most incredible way possible. This is an off-the-chart, off-the-scale, off-tap sort of finish that only Bathurst can provide. And it's about to unfold live, exclusive and commercial free on the platforms of SimShed Broadcasting. Safety car will be in this time by, I would think. And then David Kirby will bring the field back to green. And everyone here is a chance of winning this race. David Kirby hasn't led the field this season back to a green flag restart. Craig Newell, Wade Michael, they're having a tremendous run. But as we said, track position is king in a race that's compounded by safety cars. Cameron Jones, Rainer Costello, what a fight back through the field from Jones. Last to 4th. Him so far tonight, Costello 5th, the best placed of our front running contingent. On the back of an enormous moment for Tim Mulford, which has changed the game as we know it. And it'll remain that way for the rest of the night. Who emerges on top as the king of the mountain? Let's wait and see, Matt.
Just quickly, Craig Newell in 2nd position. So if Rainer Costello catches up with Craig Newell there, that would be team orders to try and hold Costello up as much as possible. Kirby has control of the field. What's he going to do here?
He's backing the field up. Here we go. 15 to go. Off into the lane there.
All right, that was McCune.
Yep. So Wade Michael comes in. He's done. Forget about it. McCune, my apologies. Here we go. McCune into the lane. Race back on the mountain. Great restart from David Kirby. Newell, Wade Michael go with him. The run up mountain straight, critical here. Now, where in the pack is Rainer Costello? There he is, charging up on the outside already. To go with Cameron Jones. This is an out-and-out fight right here, right now. They've already displaced a couple of the lap cars that stood in their way. Now the pursuit for Craig Newell and David Kirby is on. They've got by Wade Michael. So Michael's dropped 2 positions off the restart here. They run towards the top of the mountain. What an incredibly important sector of the race this is now.
Costello, as he sits, 9 positions up over Leonage as well. So that's now 9 positions.
Credit where it's, credit where it's due to Craig Newell going with David Kirby here. We know he won't have the pace to hold Jones and probably Costello down Conrad, but at least he's stuck with David Kirby within reason here. Jones sending it down the side of the elbow. Jeez, that was tight. He thought better of it, but he compromised his run onto Conrad as a result.
And it compromised Costello at the same time.
Skip a little bit clear. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
That's a risky move to go throw it up on the inside. You've really got to be committed to throw it up on the inside of Forest Elbow. Hit the inside of the chase. There he goes. Costello now all over the back of Newell. He'll have a go into the final corner.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt Davis.
Defensive.
Oh, wow. Newell is playing team tactics here. He is playing the team game. Wow, he's got involved early. That's Craig Newell. Now Costello finds a way by on the outside of the run to hell corner. Can he hold it around the outside to take it up mountain straight? No.
Over and under.
So this is all of a sudden going to become a difficult game here for Rainer Costello. The up and under's no good because he's going to be on the wrong side for Griffins. But that will put him on the right side for the cutting. He gets clear at Newell, so forget about that. It's no longer an issue. Jones down the inside of Kirby. Cameron Jones to the lead. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, boys, but I was pretty sure that he was running a Commodore last week as he had a manufacturer change with delivery change here. Change the team for Cameron Jones. mid-season draft style. Have a look at that. Now, at the back, Ben Morris under pressure with Lindsay Hobbs here. And Morris holding his own. So too Hobbs. No one wanting to give an inch here. And it's as good as a mile because right behind them, breathing down their neck. Just behind Hobbs there is Ben Siren, then Leonage. And that's exactly what Ben Morris will be happy with, because he's been able to keep these guys at bay. But exactly what Matt Davis was saying about Lassif Leonage being there in 15th position. This is a critically important sector of the race for our championship leader. And oh no! Shunt! Car hits the wall. That was Newell. McNamara's going to go by on the outside. Newell is crabbing down Conrad. Oh no, Costello gets by Kirby. McNamara's going with them. Costello's out of pursuit of Jones now.
Car off on the infield! Car off on the infield!
That's Newell! That's Newell! Straight across the infield. Wow. It's broken. Forget about it. He won't get it even across the pit lane from there. Newell is out of business. It's just one extra sting in the tail for the NTS squad. It has not been their night here so far. Started with Alex Court. Continues with Newell. And Leonage is out of business as far as the title is concerned at this point. This is all Rainer Costello's to lose right now. And we still have 13 laps to go. I can't believe half of what I'm seeing at the moment, Matt Davis. This is just off the scale.
Oh, it's turned it on in the dying laps of Bathurst. I mean, we've only got 13 to go, and geez, the whole entire field is shaken up.
Oh, yeah. Jones is going to lead them across the top one more time. He's checked out at second and a half clear of Rainer Costello, who is there in second. Kirby and McNamara, then Cooper, Michael, Barnes, Urquhart, Angus and Morris, the top 10. Hobbs, Leonage, Siren, Court, Schultz, and Crisdale make up the top 17. Leonage has got himself back to 12th in all of this. But it's still not enough because he's 10 positions behind Rainer Costello now. There's still a round of pit stops to come. There could be a late race safety car. So much to play out here across another 75 kilometres of racing.
Definitely a nail-biting moment at the moment. Drivers are going to be wanting safety cars. Lads will be wanting a safety car, especially at the moment. Costello will definitely be wanting a safety car for that quick splash and dash. And I'm sure everyone else in the field is going to be wanting that to get that little bit of a top-up just to make it to the end. So definitely don't move anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because it is on for the Bathurst 250 and the season finale, round 17 of the Nationwide Technology Systems SuperSeries.
Now, also up for grabs is the Triple Crown. Let's not forget about that. And at the moment, Cameron Jones is in the box seat to secure that. He led that race by 5 points over Sean McNamara coming into this race. And with McNamara in third, all Jones has to do is finish ahead of him, and that's looking good at this stage. Cooper down the inside to go to fourth. On David Kirby. The Calamari Racing entry back to fifth now, after leading the field back to green. Lap 30 on Mt Panorama.
Oh, Cooper bits it.
Cooper! He kept the boot into it, he kept going. But how compromised is that car now?
Very, very compromised by the looks of that splitter and bumper bar, that's for sure.
Wow. That's all I can say. Quite extraordinary what we're seeing here at the moment. Everyone, the nerves, the tension, the buzz, getting to everybody. And if you're wondering why the crowd's so small, ladies and gentlemen, for a Bathurst affair, well, A, it's only 250 kilometres. B, it's on October 3, not October 10. We're on the wrong weekend. And C, COVID. down through the dipper onto the run towards the elbow one more time. That is Craig Schultz there in 16th position, looking all over the back of Daniel Schultz and Robert Christel at the moment. But Wade Michael now smashed down the Conrod straight there as Ben Morris and Michael Angus find a way by. Stay with us at the end here, folks. We're going to have so much to dissect across another half hour or so of post-race show content to get you up to 10:30. It's only 11 past 9. So there's so much more still to come tonight. There is Lassif Leonage trying to work his way through. Now, interesting point to note. Next time by the line will be 10 to go. So this is the start of 31. Next time by the line, 10 to go. That's when we start talking pit stops, because you will be able to get home from there. So watch pit lane, because it's about to be very busy once more. Side by side, up Mountain Straight. Kirby and Cooper and Urquhart. Urquhart looking for a way through the middle of this pair. Oh, no! No!
Cooper in the wall! And Zach gonna bring a safety car out. Surely that was a big hit.
Oh, no, he's gonna get it back going. He's gonna get it back going. I think.
The spot
I hope. If he doesn't get it going, no, he's okay. He's going to get it back going. I was going to say, if he didn't, everyone would have been in the lane now. Let's have a look at this again. It was never going to work. Was never going to work. Urquhart went for a gap that just wasn't there. Look at that. Door panel to door panel and gone. And how lucky was Kirby to escape that one as well. Impatience from Urquhart, to say the very least, at this point of the race. It wasn't going to be won on that lap, but in Brian Cooper's case, it can certainly be lost.
I mean, there was a little bit of a gap for three ride, not enough that I would have taken, but Brian Cooper just got a little bit light over the crest there on Mountain Straight, and the car does really lift up. You hear it in the car as you're coming up. You're flat to the board in fifth gear. You come up and over it. And he's stuck. Oh, no. He's going to bring out a safety car.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Jones into the pits. It's so into the pits.
Here we go.
It's on.
The race. It's on now.
The race is on pit lane, Zach.
The memo. They're onto the pit road. They're onto the notion that the safety car is coming out on the racetrack. There it is. It's deployed. And everyone is in because they're in their window.
Benny Morris, the only one to stay out. Benny Morris thinks he may be able to run to the end, Zach.
Oh, no, there's no way he gets to the end. No way he gets to the end.
Got a hope in hell.
No. I got more of a chance of scoring a route tonight than he does of getting to the end. He committed on lap 23. So
Jones out already. So Jones with a short stop. Costello just got out in front of McNamara, so that's now behind. He's now behind Craig Schultz.
Now, in all the history of the and yeah, I'm somewhat clear with what I just said. It's only 9:14. Apologies to Western Australian audiences, but for the benefit of those of us that are new to the NTS, relatively speaking, JP, has anyone, in my ear please, has anyone won 5 races on the trot in an NTS series? Because that's at stake for Rainer Costello here. A huge piece of history on the line for Rainer Costello if he can win 5 races on the trot, because in NTS history, and this is going back to last year, as we said, when we got to Sao Paulo recently, that was the 50th race in NTS history, or the 50th event, I should say. Yeah, no one has won 5 races on the trot. So Rainer Costello, if he can go with Cameron Jones and Ben Morris and Craig Schultz here, has the chance to make a little bit of history. And he won't have to worry about Morris and Schultz because they didn't stop. They will have to stop at some point, and they've just compromised the rest of their race as a result of that. And this is another thing, Matt Davis, let's go to you. In the case of Ben Morris and Craig Schultz, everyone else there, with the exception of Simon Vella, who is a lot down and out of business anyway, so he's not. It's not really relevant to him, but it is to Morris and Schultz. They had a tremendous opportunity there to go in with the rest of the pack, fuel up, get home. Now they're going to compromise themselves and be stuck at the back of this queue when we get back underway. So basically, the adaptability, the ability to move with the flow and change things up and roll with the punches, so to speak. They didn't capitalise where everyone else did. And there's the incident points for you now as well, ladies and gentlemen. Costello, 0. Leonage, 0. Benny Morris, 0. Cameron Jones, however, 3x.
That's definitely an interesting one to look at. I was actually looking down the order there, and for what it is at Bathurst, it's for a majority of the drivers there to come out with a 0x. It's definitely good to see. A couple of them are up higher in the 6s, but again, if you only brush the wall up the top of the mountain, it's a 0x against you. So the only time that's going to really affect the drivers, Zach and ladies and gentlemen, is when you're actually on a qualifying lap for the shootout or a normal qualifying session. So that's the only time it's really going to affect you. In regards to Morris and Schultz, it's a little bit silly on their behalf, really. I don't know why they didn't take. I mean, here comes Morris now. Schultz stays out. There he is. Schultz comes in. Yep. So it's silly on their behalf. Now that drops them all the way down to the back of the field. The whole way to the back. They're not in there for the pit lane transit is the amount of time that the safety car is going to turn the final corner, get through the first corner, and allow the rest of the cars to trail through. So there is a wave around also, by the looks of it, or I'm not sure who that might have been. Actually, there was a wave around for someone there.
On my server.
No, it might have been.
Might have been Simon Vella, who's a lap down.
Yes, Simon Vella would have been a lap down. So that's a wave around for Simon Vella there. So luckily enough for him, that clears. Excuse me, that clears the race up for the front runners now. Jones, Costello, McNamara, Urquhart, Barnes, Angus Hobbs caught Leonard and Benny Siren ran out top 10. Caught managing to come back up to where he started from, back in 8th position. That's good news for him. The safety cars has really played into his hand. He's played the strategy. But the biggest loser there, Laseth Leonard in 9th position, down 6 from where he started. So not a position where Laz wants to be. But, I mean, look, you're back down in the back of the field now for Morris and Schultz. Yes, you're on the fresh rubber. Yes, you're on fresh fuel, but so is everybody else. A lot of people would have taken tyres in that stop.
Well, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The safety car's got a fair workout tonight. This is lap number 6 for Lee Davis. I mean, 3 safety car periods have all been 2 laps apiece. Yeah, exactly. He's displaced you. He's also displaced David Leslie. And if he gets another run between now and the checkered flag, he'll displace Dean Power and John Nicolaou as well. But, yeah, just an extraordinary night here. And it's not over yet. We've got 8 laps to go when we get back to the line, ladies and gentlemen. We're on lap 33 or 41, as you can see on the top left-hand corner of your screen there. This is the Nationwide Technology Systems V8 Super Series Grand Finale from Mt Panorama, Bathurst. It's the NTS Bathurst 250, the third and final leg of the Melbourne Hydrographix Depot Triple Crown. And what an epic conclusion we're in for here. Because if something were to happen to Cameron Jones, Joel McNamara could displace him and win the Triple Crown. Jones is running with a non-existing bonnet. It's gone. So I don't know if that's going to compromise him at all. His fastest lap time tonight is only a 2:05.38. Rainer Costello, 2:04.57. McNamara, 2:04.67. Urquhart, 2:05.13. Angus, 2:05.23. Court, 2:05.86. Leonage, 2:04.99. And he needs a couple of them now. This is a huge restart here. Leonage is 9th, Court is 8th. How well can those two work together and get their way through the field? Remembering that Leonage, as long as he's in the top 5, he'll win the championship. With Rainer Costello running 2nd at the moment. But if he stays in 8th and 9th, it could be Kurt. I don't know how the points are going to play out, but remember, it is double points tonight, folks. Lights out on the safety car. So as long as Rainer Costello and Laseth Leonage remain with 0x, it then comes down to racing positions. All will be revealed in the post-race show for you here. Leonage going for another championship. Costello going for history as the first man to win 5 in a row in the NTS series across all the various seasons that we've had. And the field is in the hands of Cameron Jones. He's throttle. When he goes, we go back to green, and he's holding the pack back. Now he goes back to green. Will this be the last restart? We wait and see. 8 left on the mountain.
Urquhart on the inside of McNamara.
Got it done. No, he didn't. McNamara sideways. That compromises his run up mountain straight. Urquhart fighting back at him as well. There's
a penalty
being handed out at this point in time as well.
Penalty for Urquhart.
Yeah, Urquhart's out of business, so forget about it. Contact there means that he gets a drive-through off the restart. Unlucky. 2x2 to the cutting. Nice piece of driving there from Michael Angus, was it? Trying to get by. Couldn't yet find his way by on Chris Barnes.
Oh, Kisby would be happy at the moment. Two blue oval
Absolutely.
FOIDs on the top at the moment. So, Kisby, if you're watching, mate, I hope you got a big smile on your face because the two forwards, they're doing you proud.
Tell you what, we won't hear the end of it next season if they do capitalise and win here. 1-2, forwards down through the dipper. On the run towards the elbow.
Imagine if Costello won 5 on the trot and took home the championship. I don't think he'd be able to shut Kisby up.
No, he'll be shouting everybody a coffee in Tasmania. There's no doubt about that. Down the back, down Conrad they go one more time. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fight between Costello and Jones for the win. They've gapped the rest of the pack. They've put nearly 4 seconds on Sean McNamara on this opening lap of the 4th and final stanza of this race. We hope, we think, there could be a sting in the tail. There could be another safety car yet. Who knows? Jones leads Costello.
Leonage in 7th.
Now that's critical. Urquhart into the lane to serve his penalty. That'll bring Leonage up to 6th. At the moment, Costello needs to get by Cameron Jones, or otherwise this championship is going to go the way of Leonage. Up mountain straight. Costello doing everything right tonight. He's done everything that he needs to do. But there might be a sting in the tail. What a performance from Cameron Jones, though, Matt Davis. From the back of the field to the front, and now Costello makes a lunge up on the high side. Fritz Jones knows he's there. But, I mean, to be fair, Dinkum, we didn't think Jones would be a chance tonight up until about that second safety car. Once that second safety car was deployed, Matt Davis, all bets were off. And the guy that started in pit lane leads the race with 7 to go. 6.5 as they go over the crest.
I didn't even think he was going to be at the lead of the race from where he started from. I know he's a hard charger, and he's definitely going to be getting the hard charger award from me tonight, and for the entire season, mind you. I mean, starting 24th in the pit lane, and you're quite a few seconds back off the pack from when you leave pit lane, to then come all the way, play the strategy right, and then here we go. Warning for incorrect safety car procedures, car 079. And a car number 205.
Well, 205 is Michael Angus, and 079 is Wade Michael.
So there we go.
So they've both copped a warning.
So there's a warning.
A warning, not a penalty.
And look, hard charge award for Jones tonight. I mean, up 23 positions in first position, and he's got a damaged car as Costello on the grass. Costello around the outside of Jones. Is that for a move, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my lord!
The bold and brave 16-year-old pulls off the move of the season. What about that?
Does that affect him for an off track?
Oh, unbelievable. What a moment in this championship fight. Costello on the outside down Conrad. And now he's clear for the moment. There's the 0X next to his name. What a moment. game changer in this title fight. Leonage is sitting there in 6th at the moment, I think it is.
5 to go.
I think he's just got by Lindsay Hobbs.
5 to go, Zach. It is on. This is the closest the championship's ever been.
Lindsay Hobbs down the inside of Sean McNamara. They're side by side, and Leonage is running up the outside. And Court's in there with them as well. Court will wrap up 3rd in the championship. Make no mistake about that. That we're more worried about the fight for 1st. Round goes Davis! With a big one, but he keeps it going. This race is not over by any stretch of the imagination, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your eyes peeled on this. This is superb. Oh no!
Who was involved with that? Oh, the
Newell.
013 Newell.
Newell and also the 062, which of course was Alan Dawson. They were both out of contention anyway, but Newell getting wide, getting sideways and collecting Davis on the way through. Costello, it's a Mustang 1-2. Costello leads down Conrad. 5 to go and they get back to the line.
At the moment. It's a Mustang 1-2-3 at the moment, I believe.
Angus flying it, yes. McNamara down the inside of Hobbs. Not yet. Not yet. What a drive this is from Lindsay Hobbs as well. Started 19th. Sits 4th. Behind Michael Angus. Kept Sean McNamara at bay and Leonage is in there as well. Leonage doing everything. Oh, wow. Wow. A little bit of bump and rub, and now Leonage wants to make a charge. But he needs to keep his nose clean here. He cannot afford to end up in the weeds. Cannot afford to get a 1X. If he gets a 1X and Rayner keeps it clean, it's over. Up mountain straight with 5 to go. Costello, Jones, Angus, Hobbs, McNamara, Leonage and Court, the top 7. And that's all that matters. That's where our focus is right now. They are all driving such a brilliant race.
They're driving
and
the wheels off each other.
Testament. It's a testament to the standard of this field, Matt Davis, that Leonage is having trouble getting his way through. McNamara is hard to get by at the best of times, but Lindsay Hobbs is proving to be the Achilles heel tonight.
Lindsay Hobbs just making that car just as wide as he possibly can. It's hard to overtake at Bathurst, and you've got a couple, actually, I shouldn't say hard, but you've got some real obvious overtaking opportunities. But Lindsay Hobbs just absolutely dialing in those defensive driving points and just holding McNamara at bay, which is holding off Leonage at the same time. So not only McNamara is getting frustrated, but Leonage is getting frustrated too, but then that holds up Court as well. So it's a domino effect. If drivers are just going to start losing their cool, Leonage just decided to just back off a little bit. He sees an opening, he goes for it, doesn't quite get it, backs off again and just gives him a couple car lengths just to sort it out, because Leonage knows if he's too close and gets caught up against it, that's it. Championship done.
Hobbs holds off McNamara. McNamara to the inside. Not yet. Not yet. Through they come. 4 to go this time. And the championship on the line. In every sense of the word. Cameron Jones has 1 hand and 3 fingers on the Triple Crown, if you'll pardon the pun, as they head across the line. What a night this is turning out to be. We have been racing for 1 hour, 28 minutes and 38 seconds. But the best is yet to come. Over the next 9 minutes, the championship will be decided. Cameron Jones up 22 positions. Lindsay Hobbs up 15, the big movers of the night. So too Robert Crisdale, who since he got his lap back under that second safety car, has moved up to 11th position. What a charge from him. And the top 10 is within reach as well.
I don't know about you, Zach, or JP, but I'm definitely on the edge of my seat, hunched over the desk at the moment. This is the best racing we have seen all season, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, I think it's quite clear between Zach and myself, this is the most excited we've been all season as well. So I can't believe what I'm watching at the moment.
This is as tense as it has ever been. Oh, no! The huge slide coming over McPhillamy. He almost threw it in the wall at Skyline. He's on the ragged edge. This is magnificent to watch. They're on the limit, these guys. Credit to them. It's as tense as it's ever been. It's as nerve-wracking as it's ever been in the NTS Super Series. And we have got 3 laps to go when they get back to the line this time. And let's not forget that these guys are only battling over the minor placings. Michael Angus is looking at his first podium of the series at this point in time. It could be a Mustang 1, 2, 3. We haven't seen that. We've had 18 races to this point. This is the 19th. Oh, my goodness gracious me.
Oh, the big slide. Whoa.
To 5th. What a time to make that move. And that could be championship defining right there. Holy smoke. Hold your breath, folks. 3 laps to go. Costello, Jones, Angus, Hobbs, and Leonage. That's the order. Through Hill Corner. The run up Mountain Straight. Has McNamara got anything in response, or are his tyres gone? He's now struggling to keep caught at bay. Is there damage on that car as well? So now Leonage, who has a clean slate, no damage, no drama, no incident points. He's on the precipice of being able to steal this championship away from Rainer Costello. What a nerve-wracking 6 minutes we've got ahead of us here. Out of the cutting, 3rd last time. Rainer Costello leads by 2.3 seconds. From Cameron Jones, it's 7 seconds almost. Back to Michael Angus, who is only a second and a half clear of this battle. Lindsay Hobbs, Lassif Leonage, Sean McNamara, and Alex Court. Down through the S's one more time. Oh, 250 kilometres around Mt Panorama. Can we do this every week, please? This is just phenomenal.
No, I'd like a rest on the vocal cords, actually.
Well, I'm actually glad I'm not working 5 nights a week with the old sim racing this week consecutively. I've got tomorrow night off, so I can rest the vocal cords and get them recouped and ready for Touring Car Thursday with the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. But at the moment, our focus, our attention is right here. The last 2 laps, and we are riding with Lassif Leonage following Lindsay Hobbs. Leonage looks to send it down the inside and then thinks better of it. Team communication. They'll be in his ears saying, we think you're okay. But he's not. He needs to find a way by Lindsay Hobbs. He needs to find a way by Lindsay Hobbs to get his mitts back on that championship title. To get himself back ahead of Rainer Costello. At the moment, it's Rainer's championship. And Matt Davis, fitting champion, if he is to wrap it up with 5 wins on the trot. He deserves every accolade he gets if he wraps that up tonight.
And he's making the move on Hobbs at the moment. About straight into Griffin's back. He's got it. He's got it. What? Around the outside of Hobbs.
That is incredible. Well, he did it at 94. We haven't seen it since then. And now Lassif Leonage is champion-elect with a lap and a half to go.
There's a car in the wall. That's not going to bring the safety car out.
Oh, wow. Oh, geez, Lindsay Hobbs scrapes the wall up over the crest. Leonage with the move of the night. We thought Rainer Costello's move going into the chase. That was impressive. Lassif Leonage up at the end of Mountain Straight going into Griffin's. Better still. This is incredible. Now, what's even more astonishing is that Lassif Leonage has got 0x. So has Rainer Costello. It all hinges on this last lap. Oh, what a race. What a fight. What a championship. But it's not over yet. Leonage in fourth. Oh, Angus. Michael Angus almost threw it away. Flipping the grass over the rise. Halfway down Conrod. We get to the chase. Last lap board in the air. Rainer Costello is on his way home. What an impressive performance from this young guy. And it could be to no avail. It could be that he misses out by the barest of margins.
2 points you will miss out by if the positions stay as it is.
You just cannot write scripts on drama like this, ladies and gentlemen. This is why the mountain is the the right place to hold big events like this. It's why it holds its place rightfully as one of the best venues in world motorsport. Now, have a look at this. Court McNamara. Court goes to 6th. Gets around Sean McNamara. This is why the mountain holds its place in world motorsport. It's why it's so revered. Because it throws up the inevitable as well as the unimaginable. And tonight it has thrown up both. The inevitable being a gripping conclusion of the championship. The unthinkable, the script, the chapters, the verses that led us to this point. And Rainer Costello is coming through the dipper on the run towards the elbow for the last time. And it's going to be the unluckiest second place you'll ever see in a championship. It's going to be the unluckiest win he's ever had because it's going to be to no avail in that championship fight. But it's going to be so impressive in the sense that he'll rewrite the history books of the NTS SuperSeries in all its different guises as a 5-time consecutive race winner. No one's gone into that territory before. Out of the chase for the last time. Mustang are going to go 1, 2, and 3 at the mountain, but it's going to be Holden's championship. Rainer Costello down to the last corner. The green-eyed monster. 5 wins on the trot for the 16-year-old in the NTS SuperSeries. An incredibly impressive season for the Bathurst 1000 winner of last year. And he goes back to victory lane once more. 2 in a row at Mt Panorama for Rainer Costello. Hugely impressive stuff. Cameron Jones second, Michael Angus third, but Lasif Leonage with 4th should be the NTS SuperSeries champion in season 1 of 2021. We'll have a look at all the points and all the fallout very shortly. But Rainer Costello, 5 wins on the trot, leads home the first Mustang 1, 2, 3 of the series. That young man has sent a statement to the rest of the paddock that when he's on, he's on. He had a couple of races that just didn't go his way this season. Who'll ever forget the drama with the fuel run out at Sonoma in California as well? That adds to the story. And Matt Davis, as I'm about to run out of breath here, I'll get you to take over. This guy, I mean, it's a cruel way to lose a championship, winning 5 races in a row to get there, but he'll learn from the early mistakes in this 17-week season, and he'll come back super eager, super keen for redemption in season 2.
Rainer Costello, what can I say? 5-time consecutive winner, 5 on the trot for this young gun, the youngest driver in the field. To be able to write the history books in that one is a great feat on its own, and he would have been absolutely ecstatic to be able to take the championship. But I mean, points are going to have to play. We'll have to wait and see with the points. I believe, if my calculations are correct, 2 points is going to be the deficit to Rainer there. So he's going to be a bit unlucky tonight with my calculations, but nonetheless, an absolute outstanding season by this young man, and to really. I mean, he came from out of nowhere from last season. He took the Bathurst 1000 win with Lachlan Murphy, and that was the momentum he needed for this season to be able to go and stick it to these guys and really give it to now back-to-back winner, Lasif Leonage as well. So really, mate, hats off to this young fella, and an even bigger hats off to Laz to be able to play the game right and get the moves done.
Mate, hats off to everybody involved in that drama, that theatre, that tension, drama, excitement, and just all-round awesomeness of the last hour, 37 and 4 seconds. That was the race time, ladies and gentlemen. And to think that we ran the 1000 at Christmas time with only 4 safety cars and we got it done on 6 hours. I mean, for a quarter of that, you've just seen as much drama, as much excitement, as much tension, all wrapped into 97 minutes. Rainer Costello and Lassif Leonards will bring it around onto the main straight to celebrate. Rainer, the win in the race. Lassif, the win in the championship. Sit back and enjoy, folks. We haven't cranked up the volume yet tonight. Let's do that right now. Wow. Take a breath, ladies and gentlemen. That was the NTS Bathurst 250, all wrapped into 97 minutes. What a drive from Rainer Costello to win the race, 5 on the trot in the NTS SuperSeries. What a drive from that guy, Lassif Leonards, to wrap up another title. And in the most incredible and pressure cooker moments, of course, on the most... we should stress too. We should stress too, ladies and gentlemen. It's only on our calculations. If something comes through from iRacing that we didn't pick up along STK's end along the way, all of that changes. Both 44 and 1 are out of fuel. That is no surprise. So we probably won't get a chance to see them send themselves around on a parade lap, a celebration lap, a celebratory lap of what was an epic conclusion to this 2021 NTS V8 SuperSeries. Let's have a look at the finishing order. Actually, that's probably a good idea. It's been about 7 minutes since the race finished. Rainer Costello, a Ford 1-2-3. He won by 3.638 seconds in the end from Cameron Jones. Michael Angus was a very, very well placed third in all of that. Lassif Leonards, the charge back from the champ, and the champion-elect by our calculations in fourth there is just extraordinary, considering that he was 15th at one point before that third safety car came out. That just changed everything. Alex Court 6th. Sean McNamara, Ben Siren, Ben Morris, and David Kirby made up the top 10. And well done to Benny Morris, because we've been We've been on his case for a couple of weeks, and he finally got through without a penalty tonight, I believe. So well done to him. And Chris Barnes, Robert Crisdale, Craig Schultz, Wade Michael, Blake Urquhart, and Simon Vella made up the top 16 that finished on the lead lap. Daniel Schultz, Scott McCune, Craig Newell, and Simon Chadwick wrapped up the top 20. And then back to 28th, we go Ash Davis. And then you get that long list of retirements: Brian Cooper, Alan Dawson, Tim Mulford with a staggering incident, Peter Crossingham, John Nikolaff, Dean Powell, and David Leslie. Wow. Let's bring in everybody very shortly if we can, because we've got Cameron Jones and Michael Angus standing by here. What we do know, what we can definitely confirm at this point in time, and I'm going to go to him first as a result. Cameron Jones, Triple Crown champion. Well done to you. I mean, with one of the more impressive drives we've ever seen. You went from 24th to 2nd. Yes, you would have liked the icing on the cake that is a race win, mate, but the Triple Crown will have to suffice.
Yeah, definitely pulled a trick out of the hat tonight. Not complain. So yeah, the Triple Crown's definitely good, because I can consider myself out of the chance for that as well.
Well, actually, yeah. Just talk us through, mate. We didn't get a chance, obviously, because you didn't take part in the shootout. We didn't have a chance to chat to you on Sunday night. Just talk us through the incident in qualifying, because that was what inevitably led to you starting from pit lane.
Yeah, I just come into turn 2, nothing different, and it just popped a motor, and that was the end of it.
Oh, well, at least it wasn't a crash. We were all wondering what it was, that it was a motor. Jeez, of all the luck, of all the time to do it, eh? Now, just talk us through the race, mate, because at one point there, until that second safety car, you probably would have considered yourself out of race contention even, and yet you've ended up on the podium. The late race safety cars really shook it all up.
Yeah, well, for once I had people helping me, so I wasn't doing the maths myself, so probably lucky I made it home. But yeah, that second safety car is what saved me. I don't know why the other boys didn't pit, whether they'd already passed the finish line before it was called, or... Yeah.
Well, that's actually a very fair point, very fair question, which we'll get to, and we'll attack with everybody else very shortly. Of course, Alex Court, Cameron Jones, Lassif Leonage, Michael Angus, Rainer Costello, all sitting here at the moment. Rainer, I hope you don't mind, mate. We're going to keep you a little bit longer tonight, just because it is the championship finale. Mum and Dad will have to get you to bed half an hour earlier tomorrow night to compensate, but we are going to keep you around here for just a little bit longer as we dissect all of this. Jonesy, just going back to you for a moment, mate. I mean, well done on the race win and sorry, on the race podium and the Triple Crown win is what I'm trying to say. But also, what we noticed too, you've gone from Holden to Ford. You're flying the flag for Mustang now. Just talk us through all of the changes that have happened in what is a very late season draft, if you like.
Yeah, so I went back to a team that I originally started with and probably helped start as well. And yeah, some of the boys there wanted me to race a Mustang, and I thought I'd stir the pot a bit, so that's what I did.
Well done, mate. You've done that very nicely. All right, I'm going to come back to our championship combatants in just a moment once we know more. What we probably can confirm at this point in time is Alex Court is third in the championship. What we can also confirm is that Michael Angus was third in that race. It was a Mustang 1, 2, 3. I've just had it in my ear that points aren't working at the moment. Of all the so they're being punched out manually at the moment, and we'll have them to you ASAP, ladies and gentlemen. But by gee, what a time for that to happen. Everyone's just, if we weren't already on the edge of our seat, we are now. Don't worry about that. Michael Angus, Callum Murray Racing on the podium. I mean, David Kirby's had a chat to us already here this season, but now it's your turn, mate. Well done. No better time to hit your straps than the final race of the season at the best place in the world.
Yeah, mate, I honestly can't believe that. Absolutely stoked. Oh, hang on, you got me?
Yeah, I've got you, mate.
Oh, you got me? Yeah, no, absolutely stoked with that, mate. I can't honestly believe that we stuck that up on the podium. The guys who are running around with what I would consider absolute freaks. So to be bumping doors with Laz and, you know, Rainer and Cam sort of disappeared there, but even a really good battle with Benny Morris for a while there. You know, Sean had a bit of bad luck copping a wall, but overall, mate, absolutely pumped with that, because not in my wildest dreams that I think we'd be running on a podium this season.
the game sort of changed when the safety cars started playing their part, didn't they? Because we were crunching the numbers here in commentary. We thought that there'd have to be a little bit of fuel saving going on to stretch these runs out to 11 laps, and or you'd have to get at least one 11-lap run and a couple of 10-lap runs to get yourself to a point where you'd be able to fuel and get home comfortably. Not least, of course, considering that cool down lap procedure as well. But then the safety cars come, the strategy got shook up, and it really threw the cat amongst the pigeons when the leaders opted, and this was McNamara, Leonage, Betty Morris was another one. They all opted to stay out, and everyone else came to the pit lane on lap 18. That was when the race really changed.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was the right decision at the time, because I think we were the first car after those boys to come in. I was sitting behind Ben at that point, and I sort of looked at it with, I just couldn't work out how I could get home without it. So I sort of took the gamble, and initially when I came out, I got stuck in the worst traffic, and I actually had a little spin coming onto the front straight, trying to get past a bit of lap traffic. And I thought at that point I might have blown what was turning into a really good race, because I thought we actually had the pace of a couple of guys in front, and we were sort of sticking with them and saving some fuel, as you said. And Auto Pit was reading that we were hitting our numbers where we needed to. So I was initially kicking myself, and then when that next safety car came out and we popped out in front of Ben and Laz, I heard Dave in the ear sort of saying, "I think that actually worked out." So it was honestly it could have gone either way in terms of the way that it played out. But no, just really stoked that it played out in our favour.
Good evening to those of you that are commenting on social media. We're a lot calmer now than what we were half an hour ago. Jesus, that was a lot of fun. Michael, that's a nice confidence booster going into season 2. I take it you'll be back here in a fortnight, eager and keen and raring to go.
Yeah, definitely. It's we've sort of decided as a team to make this our focus now. So we won't be running the gents next season. We'll be coming across to NTS to put all our eggs in one basket there. And Dave and I have had a really great finish to the year. I think when we first joined, I think I joined round 6 or 7. It was, we were sort of battling right down in the 23rd, 24th, 25th. So to be able to pick up that pace throughout the season and genuinely be rubbing doors with some of these guys at the front. Dave's right up there as well. I think P10 he finished in, which was a great effort. So 2 cars in the 10, and the pleasing thing was it was genuine pace. So absolutely stoked for both of us.
Rightly so, mate. Hang there. We'll come back to you very shortly. Let's bring in Alex Court at this point in time. Again, I don't want to bring in Laz and Rainer just yet, because we need to get the championship situation sorted so that we know who to go to first there. But those numbers are being crunched at this point in time. Alex Court, mate, maybe not the result you would have hoped for in the race, but 3rd in the championship. It means that consistency again pays off for you, because it's been the cornerstone of your season. You managed to finish most of the races you started. There's been a couple of hiccups along the way, but the consistent performances that net you 3rd in the championship mean that the NTS boys both get on the podium once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, first of all, congrats to Laz on back-to-back podiums. Bloody awesome. Not just for him, but for the whole NTS team. The race. Look, I'm absolutely stoked to get P3 in the championship. It's been a bloody tough season, that's for sure. After Long Beach, was it? I think round 1.
Yep.
I was thinking, gee, this season's going to be absolute shit fest. I was thinking, oh, great, surely it can only go up from here, and thankfully it did. So, but look, I couldn't do it without, all the boys in the team, JP for all his support, all our sponsors, my own 2 personal sponsors. Look, yeah, everyone,
Mate, well done. I can tell you're short of breath there, because we are here in the commentary box as well. It's captured everyone's imagination and held your attention from first until last tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Stick with us. The post-race show continues. Of course, we hit all about 10:30 Eastern Standard Time if we go a little bit over so be it. I'm not billing for overtime tonight. That was worth every single cent. There's no doubt about that. Hey, Alex, firstly, how's the pain level, mate?
Yeah, it's good.
Excellent. Good.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised when you said that too. Secondly, unfortunately, as far as this race was concerned, it was an uphill push after lap 1, mate. Just talk us through that, please.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Look, it was pretty. Look, I don't know what the word is, but it was a hard fight. I kind of felt like I had a bit of a target on my back the whole race, really. So luckily I had, Aaron in my ear the whole race. He was keeping me calm, and the rest of the boys in the Discord channel as well. They managed to keep me calm and collected. So look, as any other race, where I've struggled with a few things, I've said it a few times, head down, bum up. It was a long race, so I just kept punching lap times out, and yeah, just let my driving do the talking, and fought my way back up. So
Yeah, and let's be perfectly honest. Watching you and Lads both work together there in the closing stages, that had us all on the edge of our seat, holding our breath because that was some nail biting stuff. And I guess, Alex, I'm going to ask the same question of the other two in a moment, but it speaks volumes about the standard, the caliber of this field, that someone like Laz had his work cut out for him, getting his way back to where he did tonight.
Oh, definitely. Look, I said last week, Laz is going to come back stronger than ever. After a couple of bad rounds, he's just got that mentality about him, where he'll fight for the last spot. So all credit to him, and all credit to everyone this season. Everyone's driving has improved greatly, and if next season's going to be anything like this season, then it's going to be just as hard.
It's interesting to note too, ladies and gentlemen. I've still got the iRacing server open because it's still open for another 33 minutes. Still the pit lane, the stricken car of Lee Davis. The safety car of Lee Davis and the stricken car of Ash Davis, all sitting in pit lane at the moment, having a lovely time. So you'll still see live pictures from here at Mt Panorama right up until the end of the broadcast. We might even be able to get some race highlights up. Who knows? There were some definitive moments in this race. They came from Reina Costello. They came from Lassif Leonage. Let's bring them into the conversation now without speaking too much about the championship itself, because once those points are available, they'll be up on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, I'll start with Reina Costello. Uncharted territory, my friend. No one has won 5 on the trot in an NTS series across. I think this is now, there were 3 last year, so this is season 4 of NTS competition. You go into the history books in that regard, but it could be the unluckiest win of your career if the numbers don't add up and you miss out on this championship by 1 or 2 points, mate. How were the nerves going into tonight, firstly, and then well done on the win for 2?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Oh, I threw everything at it. Probably wasn't consistent enough at the first part of the championship, but that's obviously something I'll work on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be tight on points. I'm sure they're finalizing it now, but yeah, it was a really great battle all season. But yeah, it was definitely it was looking like a good race. I could just cruise around in front, but Bathurst decided that it didn't want that and decided to bring out the safety car about 2 or 3 laps before the pit window and cause some havoc. So yeah, just getting through the pack and keeping the nose clean was pretty much the goal there.
Well, it looked like you were happy to follow Sean McNamara there for the opening laps, and then you decided to lead from the front as you have done for much of the last month.
Yeah, I was happy to sit in behind Sean for a bit of the race, just save a bit of fuel in that first stint. But at that point, I felt like I had a bit more pace than him, and I could push harder while keeping the same fuel numbers. So I decided to make the move and try and stretch the margin.
And actually, on fuel mileage, mate, we noticed that you actually got to 11 laps on the first stint. So the fuel saving was a factor for you right from the outset, whereas everybody else was pitting on lap 9 or 10?
Yeah, well, yeah, I had Daniel Coughlin. He was helping me this race. It was awesome to have him here. He was coaxing me through the whole way. Yeah, we worked on a bit of a setup that would be good on fuel, so that was a good part of it. And yeah, it really just worked out in that first stint. That sort of set us up for the rest of the race, and we could run our own race.
Indeed. All right, let's bring in Lasif Leonage, champion elect by our numbers. Mates, what an incredible night at the office. What a nerve-wracking night at the office. You must have been a little bit tense when you were sitting down there in 15th with about 10 laps to go.
Mate, to tell you the truth, I'm lost for words. I'm absolutely lost for words, to be honest. I have not fought that hard ever at Bathurst, and that safety car really ruined my chances of winning the championship. But I had to fight hard, and I knew there was a couple of guys still had to pit, and one guy got a black flag, and then there was just two guys in front of me, and they did not make it easy for me to pass them. Well done to Macca and Lindsay Hobbs. They just gave me a run for my money, so I had to line them up nicely coming out of Forest Elbow so I can get the run on them and then pass them. It was risky, but had to be done.
Had to be done indeed. In fact, let's bring Rainer back in at this point in time. What about your move? I mean, Lasif Leonage around the outside going into Griffins is one thing, but you around the outside going into the chase, that's just insane.
Yeah, well, I had the run and I went to the outside. Cameron went to the inside, and then yeah, just used a bit of the dirt turbo, got on the grass, slid it around, and got through. But yeah,
The dirt turbo.
You must have been very lucky. Rainer, you must have been very lucky there to avoid getting a 1X for clipping the grass there.
Yeah, well, I made sure that I kept the majority of the car on the track, so that was all good. It was just a little bit of grass, but yeah, all good.
Matt, I'm going to bring you in at this point in time because, mate, I'm just about out of breath. Anything that you want to ask any of these guys, because we've got them for a little while.
Oh, mate, well, because congratulations all around in this booth tonight. Like, it's everybody's got something to go on. I mean, we've got Rainer Castell with 5 on the trot. You got Michael Angus with his first podium. You got Cam Jones with a triple crown. You got Alex Court for 3rd, and then you've got potentially Laz on as number 1 for the championship. So, I mean, everyone's got a right in their own to have a big congratulations. So I'll start with that one. Fellas. It's been an absolutely stellar night of racing. Jonesy, I guess starting with you, mate. You're a local down here in Victoria, not far down the road from me, and we met through the sim racing in the officials. But the hard charger award goes to you tonight, mate. I mean, up 22 positions from where you started. I've gone from pit lane and made my way through the field, and it's not an easy feat. And to play the strategy in your game, mate, that's a feat on its own.
Yeah, look, once again, I couldn't have done it without the Century boys helping me out. They were doing all the maths, which I haven't had all year. I've been doing it myself and making plenty of mistakes. But yeah, it just kind of worked in my favour, definitely. I don't think I had Reynard's pace, which that showed towards the end. Which could have been car damage as well, but it was lucky I had an extra 200 horsepower than me.
Well, it's insane that Rainer does have the weight advantage. He's a 16-year-old in a V8 supercar. I mean, if you're that translated to the sim world, he'd be a lot lighter. But
Yeah,
I mean, you were missing the bonnet of that KFC entry, which, mind you, looked absolutely amazing with the red eyes on it. So going for a bit of a Craig Lowndes red eye devil this time round. So I must admit the delivery did look good, but the horsepower factor did come down to that front end damage with the bonnet missing, I suppose.
Yeah, I did see the bonnet come off, but after I did my optional repairs, it looked like it come back, but it obviously didn't stream, so who knows.
No, it definitely didn't come back on now. But nonetheless, mate, congratulations on that triple crown. That's a feat on its own. And
Actually,
Alex, I'll
Matt,
go back to you.
just before you go back to Alex, Matt, and I'm happy to let you do that in just a moment. Cameron, just what exactly triggered the bonnet to fly off in the first place,
Oh,
mate?
yes,
Was there a scrape with the wall, or did you bump someone, or someone bumped you? What happened, mate?
I got brake checked in the middle of the chase.
Oh, yeah, that never ends well.
No.
Lucky to come out with still a straight car, I suppose, or semi-straight car.
Yeah, like I don't think it was on purpose. I don't think he knew how close I was, but I was pretty close.
And lucky not to get away with a penalty either. So
Yeah.
I guess on to you, Alex. Third in the championship, that's a given. You fought hard all season long. You've taken out 1-2 with Laz. I believe you had a race win of your own. I haven't been in the actual booth to actually notice what the results have been. I believe you've had a win on your own as well. But mate, an absolute stellar season on your behalf. You've battled a bit of pain through the wrist on trying to set the sim up still. I guess it's a hard season all round for you.
Yeah, definitely. Look, unfortunately, I don't think I did get a win this season. I might have had a couple of round wins, but not a podium, not a P1.
I was going to say a few podium finishes as well, Alex.
A few podiums, yes, definitely,
yeah. Yeah, look, yeah, it's been a battle with the wrist pain. Look, it's an ongoing issue, unfortunately. It's just something I've got to try and manage. But yeah, look, the season, like I said to Zach, it was bloody tough. After Long Beach, I thought, yeah, just I wasn't really looking forward to the season. Like I knew things couldn't get much worse, I guess. But yeah, you soldier on.
You've had a few poor races amongst. I mean, tonight was looking bad. At one point, you were buried quite a fair way down the field and managed to fight back up through with the safety cars on your hands. And at one point, I saw you sitting where you started from, which I was really wrapped. And then to come home in sixth tonight, overall was a good feat on its own to fight that far way back from the in the pack. But how are you managing that wrist? The wrist the situation there. I mean, I know a lot of guys are trying to do stretches and that before the race. How are you managing it, mate?
Yeah, look, it's just I was concerned this week, with being such a long race that it was going to be hard to do, but I got through it pretty easy actually. So as for preparing for it, I didn't really do much different this week. I just didn't really do many laps at Savo. But yeah, look, I've had physio and Nurofen and ice packs, and yeah, that's about the only way I can really manage it.
Well, you've got a nice week off coming up, mate. So make the most of it. Try and keep the wrist a little bit warm, and bring it back for us season 5, I suppose.
Yep. Thank you.
Quickly wrap up as well, Zach. I've just got word in as well, ladies and gentlemen. The championship points are finalised by the looks of it. So a little bit of time on. We do apologise for that one, but Michael Angus, a quick congratulations to you, mate, on your third position. That's a feat on its own. I mean, you said yourself you didn't think you'd have the pace, but obviously Bathurst throws everything up in the mix. You made the top 10 shootout, which is another big feat. I mean, getting in the top 10 shootout, I'd love to be able to do that. So a big congratulations on that, mate, and congratulations on bringing home third position tonight.
Thanks, mate. As I said, it was definitely the pleasing thing about it was I think that the pace was genuinely there. So again, Rayner and the couple of boys in front there had extreme pace, which we didn't have, but I think we justified our spot in the 10, and we sort of said at the start of the race, if we play the right cards and we keep it clean, there's no reason why we can't be in the top 5. So to walk away with the P3 is awesome. I know there was a bit of a question mark about the safety car restart, so I think they're still having a look at that as to whether or not we had too big of a gap between us and another car. So I'm not sure if that's going to pop up later. But as far as we go today, like it's honestly it's a fantastic way to finish off the season, and gives us both confidence going forward to next season.
Well, you cemented yourself at Bathurst for the nationwide technology systems Bathurst 250, mate. And you going into next season, that's going to be a nice little buffer and booster for you guys over there at the team to be able to really stick to these guys. So big one on that one, mate. I guess Rainer and Laz. Rainer, congrats, mate, on the 5 trot, mate. The livery looked outstanding tonight. I'm as shocked that it came up that good on the stream. Ross did an absolute stunning job. But to take 5 on the trot, mate, that's an outstanding effort.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, Ross from RSW Graphics did a fantastic job in the livery. I really loved it. Looked awesome, and yeah, it's definitely great to get 5 on the trot. Everyone in the past few days have been giving me shit about the straight line speed of the car. We did something different with the setup. It's not the fact that we have more power. It's just that we did something different and I could drive it. So yeah, that's why we were faster.
Well, mate, it's good to see that you and Dan really knuckled down to get this race dialed in. Just a bit unfortunate that you couldn't quite take it away. Laz, mate, I mean, week in, week out, you do a stunning job. You race clean, you race smart. I don't know. Is there anything else that I have to ask? I think I've asked you as many questions as I possibly can over the weeks of the season.
Yeah, I think you used up your quota, mate.
Yeah, I think I've used it up. But look, I mean, championship points pending, mate. A huge congratulations to go back to back and defend your #1 plate. How does it feel?
Oh, first of all, man, I wanna congratulate Rainer. Last few rounds, he just made my life absolutely difficult. He found some serious pace, and I was stuck at work doing long hours and less practice and hard to keep focused during the races. So I mean, last week's shocking performance really showed how much I was struggling. But to have the championship wrapped up, and I know official points pending, but in my calculations, I think I got him by 1 point. But yeah, it's honestly, I got no words to say. It's been a massive journey, longest season, 17 rounds. It just took its toll. To tell you the truth, the amount of time I was putting on the sim, just trying to keep up with some of these guys. I mean, I'm 41. I don't have the reflexes of a 16-year-old, so twice as hard to keep my spot. And coming on the back of the championship win last season, and the pressure was on right from round 1. I mean, round 1 couldn't have gone worse for me. I finished 9th after qualifying 4th after a bit of an incident. So, I mean, it didn't start on the front foot. It started on the back foot. So I had to work my way up. I think 3rd round I took the lead of the championship, and then I held on to it up until now. So yeah.
All right.
Big thanks to the boys in the team. But I'll take the rest of the guys after.
It's been a stellar season for you, mate. And Zach, what did I mention before we jump into the some points? And I believe we're going to bring in the Triple Crowns as well. You might be able to correct me on that one. But what did I mention before? The longest season that the boys have had, and even Laz just agreed then, it started to take its toll at the end.
Indeed, it did, and not just on drivers, but also race officials, broadcasters, producers, etc. So forth. 100%. Hey, let's rip the Band-Aid off this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to the championship points after we have a look at the MHD, the Melbourne Hydrographix Dept Triple Crown. We're going to keep you in suspense here, ladies and gentlemen, and have a look at the Triple Crown championship points. Cameron Jones by 11 points, if you don't mind, by 743 over Rayleigh Costello, 732, who leapfrogs Sean McNamara on 720. Remember, it was double points tonight. Alex Court 4th with 713, and Lassif Leonage 697. Ben Morris, Blake Urquhart, Lindsay Hobbs, David Kirby, and Chris Barnes made up the top 10 in the Triple Crown. We'll let that keep rolling in just a moment. Now that it's official, I guess we say Cameron Jones, well done, mates. That's it's not the main title, but it's still some silverware, and it doesn't happen without a lot of hard work, mate.
No, it's definitely better than nothing, and yeah, it's definitely a lot of hard work. Need to practice on my consistency next season, and hopefully put it back up the front again.
Let me focus on that when we get to the post-championship points discussion in just a moment. I mean, just have a look at some of the names down the order as well, ladies and gentlemen. Not unexpected to see some of those guys sitting down the order there, based on when you have a look at the outright championship as well. David Leslie bringing up the tail, 96 points, having not finished a lap tonight. Let's go and have a look now. And I'm told you won't fair dinkum believe this, ladies and gentlemen. The Nationwide Technology Systems V8 Super Series for 2021. This is how it ended up. Wow. 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 You wouldn't fair dinkum believe it, would you, ladies and gentlemen? Lassif Leonage by a solitary point over Rainer Costello. And Alex Court in third. We knew that already. Cameron Jones fourth. Sean McNamara fifth. A distant fifth in the end, but a good way to finish the season all the same. Ben Morris, Alan Dawson, Blake Urquhart, Craig Schultz, and Chris Barnes rounded out the top 10. 19 races. 2 super sprint, 2 enduro, 13 regular 150-kilometre races, and just a solitary point separates first and second. So Lassif Leonage, congratulations to you. The number one stays with you, but by gee, you couldn't ask for a tighter fight than that. You couldn't do it in a more uncomfortable fashion than that.
It was pretty comfortable last season, but this one, I had to work for it, especially in the later rounds. Once Rainer found pace, it was just increasingly difficult, and drop rounds did not help me either. So yeah,
Yes, also, mate, it's important to talk about. I mean, you and Matt have already touched on it. You guys have been, Matt as well, ridiculously busy with real-world commitments. You haven't been able to ply your trade with the sim as often as you'd like to. It must have been difficult the last couple of weeks when you look at some of the race results and the fact that you dropped off the first step of the podium. Sometimes we didn't see you on the podium. Were you feeling that the workload and therefore the pressure was mounting here?
Oh, yeah. I mean, in my personal life, I had a few issues with my business, with my staff. So I had to do extra hours in the business. So I was working 14-hour days and then jumping on the sim and can hardly focus. So it's been a tough couple of weeks. So tonight I said to my son Rehan, I want you in my corner, talking to me, keeping my concentration up, so I don't make a mistake up the top of the mountain. And he did a bloody good job.
Do you get to repay the favour and be in his corner tomorrow night?
100%.
Yeah. Just extraordinary. Rainer Costello, you mentioned it earlier. Laz, I'm going to come back to you. Cameron, I'm going to come back to you as well. Michael Angus has already left, so unfortunately, I don't know. We've lost Michael, but he'll thank, no doubt, Parry Anastakis and the great people at Calamari Racing there. The rest of these guys will thank their respective sponsors in just a moment. We might do a little bit of overtime here, folks, but I mean, how could you not after what we've just found out there? 2,381 played 2,380 in the title fight. Rainer, that's got to be disappointing in one sense, but the fact that you've already acknowledged what the problem was there in the fact that you didn't start as strong as Lassif did. You learn from that, don't you? And you take that with you into next season. And now on the back of 5 consecutive wins here, everyone knows that you're a guy that they don't want to mess with coming into season 2, because not only have you got form, but you now want that number 1 even more so.
Yeah, definitely. It's a shame I couldn't get it this season, but Laz drove brilliantly all season. The consistency was there. He did great, even considering his work commitments to even be there. So well done to him on that. There was a great drive. I threw everything at it. Probably, well, there's always going to be moments where you can say, oh, if I did this here or did that there, that I could have won the championship, but those don't really count. So Laz did it fair and square. We've had some good battles all year. Yeah, just didn't quite get him. But yeah, we'll definitely be back next season.
Some incredible moments right throughout the championship that took us right to this point tonight. And then you guys just found a whole new level, because what we saw tonight was off the scale. It was just some of the best racing we've seen all season, if not the best. In fact, probably more intense than the 1,000 that we run in December. And we all remember how long a day at the office that was as well. Lass of Leonage, I was informed a couple of weeks ago that we won't be seeing you for season 2. So to take the number 1 off the grid, it means that everyone is out there fighting for number 1 next season, which means our next 12 weeks are going to be hugely intense. But for you, obviously, take a step back, focus on real world stuff, help young Rehan out. And then do we get to see you again charging on all 4 or all 8 cylinders in this case, given they're supercars, come season 3?
Look, I'll be doing officials in the weekends just to keep my skills sharp. Just don't have the time during the week. That's the only problem. So, yeah, definitely sitting out this next season and potentially the season after that, depending on how the real world stuff get on. But I'm hoping to be back next year, worst case scenario. So all depends on how things are going for the business.
Worst case scenario, we see you as a co-driver for Alex Court in December anyway. Don't worry about that when we get to the 1,000. We know we still see a little bit of Laz magic a little bit later on in the year. But Matt Davis, this is something that you can relate to, mate. So, I mean, you yourself, you've stepped back from the racing side of things, and you're still involved in the commentary side. But again, it's real world commitments getting in the way. COVID did wonders to our iRacing livelihoods and our iRacing dedication and our commitment levels with the time that we spent in the sim rigs, in the commentary box, all that sort of stuff. But once the real world comes into play again, it becomes a juggling act. And at one point or another, you've got to, sever your hand to feed your face, so to speak. You've got to make sacrifices.
You sure do have to make sacrifices. I mean, I'm sort of lucky enough that I can do the commentary side of things on the Wednesday nights for the GAC. And I'm being grateful to you for mentoring me through it and allowing me to learn and be the commentator that I am for the Wednesday night motorsport. But I mean, look, Laz, stick around after the race, mate. I'd love to have a chat to see if there's anything that I can do to be able to help you with the workload that you're going through, whether it be, you need a driver or something, or just a little bit of help. Because we'd love to see you come back next season. I know that work gets in the way. You come home, you work, as you said, 14-hour days. You come home, you're absolutely wrecked. You want to spend time with family. You got to jump in the sim to try and keep sharp and really dial in your setup to be able to run with the guys in the NTS. So, I mean, unfortunately, sacrifices have got to be made, Zach, and it's unfortunate for Laz at the moment. He's got to sit out the next season, or maybe 2. So, I mean, it'd be good to have him in the commentary booth, potentially as an in-race reporter sort of thing, maybe. But look, it's unfortunate circumstances for Laz, but definitely Laz, stick around, mate, because I'd love to see if there's anything that I could do, or see if I can help you out with maybe even finding some staff to help reduce the workload for you.
All right. Wow, it's just been an extraordinary night at the office. Just when you didn't think it could get any better, it got better tonight, and I hope everyone enjoyed it all around Australia. We're not quite done here yet, folks. Rainer, I know you're close to having to shoot through, mate, so let me go to you first. Let me get you to thank who you want to thank, and we'll get that out of the road, and then we'll fire 1 or 2 more questions at you with regards to the next season, and then we'll let you shoot through, and then we'll get to everybody else.
Yeah, I'd like to thank E1 Sim Racing for all their support all season. It's been a great journey, and to have them on my side has been great. F Suicide, RSW Graphics for the awesome livery for Bathurst and awesome liveries all year. Ross Fallon did a great job. E1's Coughlin Race Engineering, Daniel Coughlin, for all his help with the setups and helping me tonight. Usually it's just me on my own trying to do everything, but it was good to have someone tonight helping me, coaxing me all the way through, and it was great to have him there. Total IT Solutions Brisbane, and my parents for allowing me to race and supporting me all season long.
You must have been a little bit relieved, given that you missed out on pole position. That let's be perfectly clear here, folks. I don't want to remind anybody of that, but those 5 points that Sean McNamara nabbed saved less of Leonage tonight, because if Rayner had come in only needing to close the gap by 8 points, it would have been curtains, it would have been game over, and Costello would have been the champion by 4 points. It's a double-edged sword. It's a cruel game sometimes, this motor racing caper. Rayner, you must have been relieved that the track conditions for the race were similar to qualifying and not the shootout, because the shootout was a skate fest.
Yeah, definitely. The shootout was quite slippery. I didn't handle the pressure too well. Going through Griffin's Bend, my arms were shaking. So, yeah, it's an unusual feeling for me. I never usually get nervous like that. But, yeah, the pressure was on. I was definitely feeling the pressure from the championship and to do well. So, yeah, and then tonight I just sort of talked to myself and just, like, said it doesn't matter what happens. I'll just drive my own race and everything else will sort out. And, yeah, I drove well tonight, I think.
2 races, sorry, I should say 12 races coming up in the next season, or 12 events, rather. We haven't seen the full calendar yet and how it all breaks down. But you've got next weekend off, or next Tuesday night off, I should say. What do you do with that night for starters? And then what's your plan of attack when you look towards season 2, mate? Because it's shorter. It's only 12 weeks. All points count. There's no ability to drop rounds. And obviously, you know, with less racing, less time, more pressure, I would assume.
Oh yeah, hopefully school camp doesn't schedule
Exactly.
a camp on the night of a race, but yeah, that's all good. Yeah, keen to come back and do it again next season. Preparation will be the same. Probably didn't quite do enough preparation for some of the races, just jumping on the night of the race and cutting some laps and then going into the race thinking I'd done enough practice and waddling it sometimes. But yeah, I'll do a bit of preparation, hopefully get my pace up more and see what we can do.
If you're just joining us, folks, they are the final championship results, pending any steward penalties or anything like that coming in post-race, but I haven't heard anything thus far. On your screen there, the final championship results, and no, you are not seeing things. There's a 1 point margin in the end, less of Leonage to Rayner Costello. That's how tight it was. That's why we were on the edge of our seat. Absolutely lifting the decibel meter to the limit tonight. It was tenderhook stuff. It was fantastic. Rayner, next week, a Tuesday night off, do you focus on your homework or do you get into the sim and get some more laps done ready for next season?
Oh, we'll see what Tuesday night brings. I'm not too sure. I can't plan that far ahead.
Yeah, fair enough too, mate. All the very best to you. Yes, first mission will be Sunday, the Sunday week for pre-qualifying. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Pre-qualifying launching into the new season, of course. In fact, reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that next season we go from NTS being the naming rights sponsor to it being the RSRA, Real Sim Racing Australasia V8 Super Series, and then, of course, the Super 2E Series as well, under the same banner on a Wednesday night. So the 12-week season, it starts June 22. We'll be right here with you, 8:20 Australian Eastern Standard Time, for all the action, and looking forward to it immensely. Rayner, get out of here, mate. Go and sleep well. You've earned it. 5 wins on the trot. You stand above and beyond anything anyone else has ever racked together as far as consistent wins is concerned. That's something to be very proud of. Second by a point to one of the best in the game. That's also something to be proud of, mate. You are a championship favourite for next season, and it hasn't already started. And 2 on the trot at Mt Panorama, and it's clear that this place agrees with you. So, well done. Hold your head high, and well done on a fantastic season, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, thank you. Well, one more time, well done to Laz on the championship. It was a great drive. And also thank you, JP, and all the series sponsors and all the volunteers, Race Control, everyone that makes the series possible. And you guys in the commentary box all season for making it exciting. Yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah, your mate from Tasmania, from the Apple Isle, Chris Kisby, sends his apologies, but he had no network tonight, so he wasn't able to join us.
He's going to be having a fit Kisby down there. It's Ford 1, 2, and 3. I think he had a heart attack and may have passed out there. I think
that was a missing link for Rayner tonight.
Yeah, exactly. No Kisby in his corner. But no, Kisby sends his best to you, mate. So well done, and we'll be in touch in the next couple of weeks. All the very best.
Thank you.
We'll let Rayner Costello go because he's a young kid and he's got a bedtime, and we've already taken about 40 extra minutes out of that for him. So apologies to Mr. and Mrs. Costello. But the guy is just in a league of his own at the moment. Laz, you know how hard it is to strap or string wins together, I should say, in the NTS series. For Rayner to come out and do what he's done and grab 5 wins on the trot, it speaks volumes of his talent, and he's a real threat going forward, isn't he?
Definitely got talent, that's for sure. So yeah, it was definitely tough to beat him in the later rounds. I think the Lord Cell pedals really helped him too. So yeah, no, he definitely found pace, and definitely one to watch out for next season. I'm glad I don't have to fight him next season.
Yeah, and rightly so. Righto, let's start to rip the Band-Aid off this and bring it home, boys. We'll start with the champion. We'll go to the Triple Crown champion. Then we'll go to the 3rd place in the championship, Alex Corp. Laz, the floor is yours to thank all your sponsors, mate.
I want to thank SimShed Broadcasting, Nationwide Technology Systems, Goody Auto Care Verana, Dragon RC, DSL Welding Services, Brucey Australia, VR Covers, Cars for Hope, Racing for Autism, and Blue Stampede Labour Hire. I want to thank JP and the team for putting a good show. All the commentary from you guys been stellar all season. All the competitors, they gave me hell today, but it was good fun. My son for crew chiefing for me tonight. If it wasn't for his help, I don't think I'll be able to keep that focus after working long hours today. And big thanks to my wife. She jumped in and helped me in my business today, so I can get home a little bit early so I can race. A big, massive thank you. And finally, thanking the teammates. Kept me honest in some of these practice sessions. They're getting quick. And yeah, it's been good fun. It's been a good journey.
Certainly has, mate. Congratulations to you. Stick around, though, because there's a couple of questions I want to throw your way before we sign off here. Matt Davis, I can see you chiming in there. Anything you want to add before I go to Cameron Jones and Alex Court?
They've covered it all, mate. Just another congratulations to go back to back. I'm still speechless of tonight's race. I mean, holy hell, it's the best racing I've seen. Like, I watched the AOSC on Friday nights. I watched the Scops, the Premier Series of iRacing, on Sunday nights when they race, and I don't see as good of a racing as what I saw tonight. I mean, the nail-biting moments of just 1 point within the championship, like, what more could you want?
Cameron Jones, the floor is yours as the Melbourne Hydrographix Depot Triple Crown champion.
I just want to thank all the boys at Century and just KFC. The Wicked Wings will be flowing tonight, I reckon.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, mate. I could go a KFC Philip Burger right now, actually. Alex Court, all yours.
Yeah, look, firstly, thanks to JP for running a awesome series. Everyone behind the scenes, yourself, Zach, Kisby, Matt, for all the great commentary. Love watching the broadcast back. Everyone else behind the scenes, all the admin. Hopefully, I'm not forgetting anyone there. Obviously, Racing with Autism Australia, all sorts of disability services, SimShed Broadcasting, Nationwide Technology, Goodyear Auto Care Arana, Dragon RC, DSL Welding, Brucey Australia, VR Cover, Cars for Hope, Blue Stampede Labour Hire. As always, Gary Bradshaw from New Zealand for tuning in every week. Aaron for engineering for me. All my teammates, team for pushing me every week. Without that, wouldn't give me that fight to want to improve each week. And most of all, I need to give a massive shout out to my wife Fiona for all the time that I spend on the sim. I sacrifice a lot of time to become good at what I do, and yeah, so thank you very much to her for that. I appreciate that very much.
I have to say I applaud your commitment, Alex Court, because not too many people would get to go back and watch the full broadcast and enjoy the racing a second time. But you do. So well done to you, and thanks for your support throughout the course of the season. Wow. It's getting closer to 10:30. It's just gone 10:35. So we're not far off wrapping up here, ladies and gentlemen. A couple more final closing thoughts here, and then some thank yous from the broadcast standpoint as well. Everyone's saying either they're going to enjoy the week off or they haven't got enough time to take a week off. Yours truly, I'll get that day off, the Tuesday. The fact that there's no sim broadcasting on the Tuesday night, I can actually sit out and watch some telly, but that'll be about it because my GSRC commitments are ongoing until the 25th of June, and then there's a couple of weeks off there. But I'm stepping in on Wednesday nights during that 2-week period to commentate on the GAC series or the RSRA Super 2 series with Matt Davis as well. I'm looking forward to that. Weekend Warriors coming up this weekend as well. We'll get to all that in a moment. Cameron Jones, consistency again, that's something, Rainer Costello highlighted it as his Achilles heel at the first part of the season. To be fair, you said something similar about needing to be more consistent over a 12-week campaign where there's no margin for error because an inch is as good as a mile in a championship race and all points count. You don't get drop rounds at your disposal in the next season. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a bit in the same boat as Laz. I don't have the time to get on. I kind of jump on the night before and try and do 100 laps, but really doesn't help with the consistency. It might have your 1 lap speed up there, but yeah, it doesn't help with the
Comes back to just learning the tricks of the trade, the racecraft, and getting your eye in, doesn't it?
Yeah, like learning how to manage your tires at every track is probably the biggest critical thing for me. You can ruin your race within the first 5 laps.
Actually, that's something we haven't touched on yet. We've been focused on how good the spectacle was. The tyres. Sean McNamara looked like his were absolutely fried there in the closing laps. He was skating all over the show.
I didn't even have time to think about tyres. I didn't even know if I had any on still.
Well, that's a fair point too. Laz, we know you're pressing on with some other ventures, and we're looking forward to having you back in the NTS server at some point down the track, mate. But the talent pool here, the fact that I mentioned it to Alex earlier, the fact that you were working as hard as you were to get through the pack tonight there in the closing stages, whilst also trying to keep your nose clean and get a 0x. It just speaks volumes of the level of the competition you face each and every Tuesday night. The fact that you're at the top of the crop, even more so, highlights just how competitive it is, doesn't it?
Oh, it's very competitive. I mean, I've been labeled a hot lapper over the last couple of seasons by certain individuals, and I think I've proved them tonight that I can still race hard and when I need to and get the job done. So yeah, the talent is definitely there. So all these guys got mega talent, and I think next season we're gonna add a few more to it. So it's gonna be interesting.
Indeed, it is. Alex Court, without your right hand man there, without Laz, how does next season look for you, mate? Because again, 12 weeks, no margin for error, all points count. We know your top 3 material. Can you go with these guys without the guiding influence that is Lassif Leonage?
Oh yeah, look, I hope so. It's going to be a shame not to have Laz on the track with me on Tuesday nights. But look, I'll be going for that number 1 spot next season. That's for sure.
Indeed. All right. I think we're done. I don't think there's anything.
I think we're definitely done. It's been a long one.
It has. I'm sitting here trying to think. Have we forgotten anything? I don't think so. I think
Sponsors,
we're good.
and that's about it. I don't think it's sponsors and just a quick recap of the night. And I think that's well and truly covered for Tuesday night motorsport and definitely round 17 and the last season for the NTS.
100%. And also the other thing too, I want to pick your brain about tomorrow night before we go as well. So to Alex Court, to Cameron Jones, to Lassif Leonage, boys, get out of here. Well done. Congratulations. Not just on the show tonight, but across the last 18 weeks as well, noting that this was a 17-round championship stretched over 18 weeks so that we could have a breather there in the middle of March. So well done on all of that. And for Cameron and Alex, we will see you in a fortnight.
Thank you, and will do.
And to Lass of Leonos, congratulations, congrats on the number one. The championship is yours yet again. No number one on the grid next season. That's going to feel a little bit strange, but looking forward to seeing how you bounce back when you do return to the Real Sim Racing Australasia platforms in the coming weeks and months and years, mate. Congratulations on the championship yet again. A two-time back-to-back performance. And again, consistency the key. So well done on all of that. And we look forward to seeing you when we see you. And of course, good luck in all the official stuff that you're doing in the meantime as well.
I'll definitely be back, but not sure when. But thank you.
Exactly right. And of course, you'll be in Rian's corner tomorrow night. So on all of that, Matt Davis, you've already said that driver of the night is Cameron Jones. Let's look ahead to tomorrow night. Just, bring us up to speed again with the situation at play in the V8T2E series. Is it as tense as it was here?
It's definitely not as close. I mean, excuse me. It's definitely not as close as what we're seeing tonight, Zach. Tomorrow night, it's a little bit of stretch. Matty Scholes now, after obviously drop rounds have been into play. Matty Scholes is out to a nice, comfortable lead, but it is double points. It is Bathurst, and he has had a few unpleasant races in the past throughout the season. So it's going to be a good one to watch. They've been putting on the action. They've been really showing it to these guys in the SuperSeries. So I can only say tune in tomorrow night. We're going live at, I believe, 7:50. So tune in from then to definitely catch all the action-packed racing tomorrow for your Wednesday night motorsport. And let's see who we can crown for the number one for the GAC.
All right. Stick around. Final thought from you in just a moment. In the meantime, a lot of people to thank for their efforts right throughout the season, most notably JP for everything that he does behind the scenes and then to produce the broadcasts as well. Sometimes he even has to commentate. He almost had to do that tonight, but thankfully Matt Davis was able to jump in as a last-minute sub for Chris Kisby, and we appreciate that immensely.
I'm not going to let JP get out of it that easy, though. I'm actually going to tell him to unmute his mic for a second. For us, please, and actually get him on comms for once, so we can actually say thank you for all the hard work that he does for the Tuesday nights, and I'll bring him in tomorrow night for the Wednesday night, so we can do it tomorrow night and say a big thank you for the Wednesday nights. But mate, on behalf of myself, Kisby, Zach, the whole crew, all the drivers, race control, the viewers, mate, I just want to say thank you very, very much. For the amount of work that you put in, really. I mean, you bring in sponsors, you've done these amazing overlays, you tune them, you fine-tune everything week in, week out. You find the minutest thing to change just to stand out from the rest of the crowd. And the hours that you put into this, mate, just to bring us what everybody sees on a Tuesday and Wednesday night is absolutely phenomenal. So, mate, just a huge thank you and congratulations for making such an amazing series.
You're very welcome, but the reality is I'm just a very small cog in a very big wheel. I'm just one part of this series, and without everybody else that chip in, commentators, race control, admin, we wouldn't be able to bring this series to life.
Just a quick recap for you. I know you're in our area this whole entire race and just going, I can't breathe. What were your final thoughts on the Bathurst 250 tonight and the championship decider, I guess?
Just thought I'd wait there until my dog stopped barking, but look, I'm speechless myself. At one point, I'd all but written off Laz for the championship in that when that first safety car came out, and I was multitasking my backside off. Not only was I talking to you guys and switching camera angles and replays and whatnot, but I was also messaging my team, giving them instructions and team tactics and telling them what to do. So to try to get Laz further up the field, but it worked. I mean, at the end of the day, it was a team effort. You know, all the guys chipped in to help Laz. Laz did a brilliant job, but you cannot take away Rayner's 5 wins on the trot. He is going to be a factor next season. There's no doubt about that.
Definitely is. Zach, you got anything quickly to add before I'll hand it over to you and let you wrap up everything for the season, the fifth season of fourth season. Sorry, my apologies, of the the nationwide technology systems.
No, all I'll say is exactly what JP was saying earlier. We were speechless here in Central Commentary as well, but JP, from all of us, mate, fantastic. Thanks for having us on board. Of course, our partnership started over with when you were broadcasting some GSRC stuff, and you've brought me across, and now I switch between the two. Every other night of the week I'm over there. Tuesday nights are exclusive to you, and I'm even doing some Saturday night stuff with you as well. But thank you very much for everything. It's been a treat. It's been a joy. You're always keeping us informed, up to date, making sure we're as prepped as we can be from a commentary standpoint. But once we go live, the rest is up to us. I just hope that from, Chris Kisby to Matt Davis to me, I just hope we've done it justice for you, mate, because at the end of the day, it is your baby.
Look, absolutely. You guys have done a phenomenal job, and you've really entertained the audience, and you've helped us take this series to another level. And I can quite confidently say that what we've got planned for next season is just going to take us up that little notch again and just keep raising the bar, and it's going to set more of a challenge for the drivers once again with the pre-qualifying rounds and the way that we're going to structure racing for next season.
Oh, we cannot wait. It's only 2 weeks away, the start of the new season. Huge thanks to Nationwide Technology Systems, of course, the naming rights sponsor of this series, to Racecraft Simulations, Blue Stampede Labour Hire, Hybrid Racing Simulations, TJM Parramatta, Dragon RC, Britzy Australia, Track Cams for Gourmet, and also the Melbourne Hydrographix Depot there, of course. We should also say thanks to SimSnap iRacing for simsnap.com iRacing photography for the replays as well throughout the course of the year. They're the only people not on my memo, but a huge thanks to them as well for their ongoing support of everything we do here at SimShed Broadcasting, to Race Control, to our admin behind the scenes, to the commentators that have sat in here and made sense of my nonsense each and every week. It's been a joy to work on. It's been a privilege to witness some of the great racing we've seen here across the course of the last 17 rounds, 19 races in this championship over the 18 weeks that it has stretched out over from the start at Long Beach to the end at Mt Panorama. It has been eyes forward and well worth the price of admission every step of the way. We should also point out as well, folks, that our coverage of supercars and stock cars continues here on the platforms of SimShed Broadcasting. This Tuesday night caper returns in 2 weeks' time. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But most importantly, the biggest thank you not just goes to those of you that tune in each and every week to watch what we do and to listen to all the action and to tune in and enjoy it, be it over a quiet evening nightcap or a couple of alcoholic beverages, whatever you do. We appreciate your support. We don't do it for the sake of doing it. We do it because there's an audience there for sim racing, that we do. The iRacing could happen behind the scenes, behind closed doors, but because there's a market for broadcasting of this magnificent growing form of our sport, that's why we're here each and every week for you guys. And to the drivers, well, what can we say? Bloody phenomenal is what we can say about them.
Phenomenal. I think that's an understatement. Phenomenal. It's
mate,
out of this world.
They're just next level, and they put on a show each and every week. Sure, there's been some drama and controversy and some moments and some mishaps and some misfortunes along the way, but there's also been some great good luck and success stories as well, of course. You've only got to look at Tom Heyman, what he's doing in Aussie racing cars after starting with us here at the start of the year, to what Rainer Costello's achieved in the last 6 weeks or 7 weeks, because remember, he took 1 week off there in that gap, but he's undefeated in the other 6 weeks. It's just phenomenal what he's racking up. Lasov Leonage, another championship. Alex Court, a podium. The NTS boys, they're always there at the end. They're always strong. And of course, finally, for a minority, the Mustangs actually really punched above their weight tonight with 1, 2, and 3 in a field that has more Holdens than Fords. So with all of that, I think we look ahead to what's coming up here on the platforms of SimShed Broadcasting. The Goodyear V8 T2 Bathurst 200 tomorrow night, 7:50 Australian Eastern Standard Time, and then 7:20 Australian Eastern Standard Time on Saturday night, Weekend Warriors Cup car racing. I'll be in the booth with Adam Schultz for that one. It's the only time I can get in the month of June, but I'll be in on Saturday night to join him. I don't know where they're racing. I don't know what's going on, but I'm looking forward to it all the same. And Alex Court, very nice multitasking from you before we go, because you've managed to rack up the old dinner for two, day 69 without any soft drink. Well done. The old dinner for two. Matt Davis, final thought from you, mate. I mean, you only have to look through the results here, and had it not been for that late race moment which caught out Craig Newell and a couple of others, that could have been a completely different story tonight. It was the carnage that we saw with a couple of people falling out of contention in those closing stages that allowed Laz to move up the field with the consummate ease that he did. He was 15th at the start of that final segment of the race. He ended up 4th. He ends up the champion by a solitary point, but by gee, it ebbed and flowed every step of the way.
Oh, mate, I think the biggest heartbreak would be for Rainer Costello. I mean, and Sean McNamara as well. They were both, fighting out for the triple. McNamara and Costello were fighting out for the Triple Crown. Costello was fighting out for both Triple Crown and the championship himself. And if Macca didn't fence it coming down the hill, he probably could have sealed himself a nice spot with the Triple Crown there over Cam Jones. So would have been very tight up the front there nonetheless. But look, final thoughts for the season, for the 17 rounds. Outstanding, out of this world driving by all drivers. Watching new drivers come up into the booth and onto the podium for the first time, whether it be in our reverse grid races or even just the first time in an all-out sprint race. It's always good to see guys slowly progressing through the field. That's for sure. But I mean, I've had an absolute blast over these 17 rounds. Joining you guys for some hot laps has been a few weeks where I haven't jumped in due to, obviously, as we all know, work commitments. But I mean, doing the hot laps, that's really my only time to enjoy the sim, and I have an absolute blast doing it and putting on a show and giving you guys a good laugh in the booth when something taily goes wrong. So it's overall wrap, I'd give it a score out of 100. It'd be 100 out of 100, mate. It's as simple as that. This season's been absolutely outstanding.
Well, can I just say it's been great having you in the booth. The hot laps have always been entertaining because they are done live. There's no pre-records, there's no take twos on them. We never know how they're going to end up. But 9 times out of 10, they've been absolutely perfect from Matt Davis. And there's been a couple of slides along the way, which has kept us on the edge of our seat.
The best one I'd have to say would be Oran Park. If it was out of all my laps, Oran Park would have to be the best save of them all, I think. Or even, I believe, Montreal, I had a fairly good one. So, but definitely Oran Park was, I think, the most favourite hot lap for me.
Well, the good thing is you kept you were kept on your toes every single hot lap, and that was really good to see, mate.
That was for sure.
It's been a pleasure to share the booth with you, and good luck with your call tomorrow night, of course, of the 200, and we're looking forward to seeing how all that plays out. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Remember, season 2 of all this magnificent action that you just saw commences Tuesday, June 22, and we can hardly wait for that. We'll be with you from 8:20 Australian Eastern Standard Time. We'll have a full calendar for you in the coming days. In fact, we might even be able to roll it out in our broadcast tomorrow night. We might even be able to roll it out in our broadcast on Saturday night of the Weekend Warriors, so that you can get yourself ready and pencil in your diary all the dates that you want to have yourself on the couch, front and center, ready for the RSRA Super Series, and of course the Super 2E Series here on the platforms of SimShed Broadcasting across YouTube and Facebook. We've had viewers tuning in from America and New Zealand and right around Australia throughout the course of the season.
Well, I believe.
Yeah, Scotland as well. So we're far-reaching. We're probably punching above our weight in that regard, but we've enjoyed it immensely, and we hope you have as well. On a symbolic note, I want to just say a couple of things here. I want to say happy birthday to my mates down there in Cessnock, Lachlan Bowie, who's 21 today, and Carly Dicker. I won't say your age, but well, happy birthday to you as well. And on a somewhat personal and sad note, it's 6 years today since my grandma passed away. So I want to dedicate that to her, because that was one hell of a race. And she was never a motorsport fan, but she can appreciate good sport when she saw it. So that one's for her. And on behalf of Matt Davis, JP, Chris Kisby, and Aidan Schultz, we've had in here, Andrew Collins, we've had in here on a Tuesday night as well. to all the broadcast team, thank you very much for letting me lead the way and sometimes steer the ship, sometimes very poorly across the course of the last 18 weeks. It's been tremendous fun. And that is season 1 wrapped up, 2 still to come. The crescendo is the Bathurst 1000 at the end of the year, but we've got a lot of miles to rack up before we get there. We hope you've enjoyed it. Lastif Leonard's the champion. Rainer Costello, 5 wins on the trot to go down by a solitary point, but he was prolific. He was a class above in winning the NTS Bathurst 250 tonight. But Lastif Leonard remains number 1. On behalf of the crew, I'm Zach Caban saying a very good night to you. Thanks very much for watching all the action here at the NTS SuperSeries on SimShed Broadcasting. Bye for now.